0% financing applies on select 2024 new Hyundai models. $6,500 for your trade not available on EVs. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for more details.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to Virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. You know, when you're making your New Year's resolutions, be sure to think about your car and your wallet, and then head on over to United Tire and Service. Taking care of your car and saving money is a resolution you can actually keep thanks to United Tire. From new tires to full inspections, oil changes, and more, United Tire and Service will keep your car in shape without breaking the bank. Stop by your locally owned United Tire and Service or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and to take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. Thanks so much for being part of it. John Fetterman leads it off today with a little backdrop here. Brendan Boyle, buddy. Brendan of the famous Boyles in Northeast Philadelphia was one of the Democrats who turned their vote, the Laken Riley bill, which essentially says we're not going to let you out if you're here illegally and you commit a crime so that you can go and try to murder and rape a young woman like Laken Riley. He previously had voted against this. He was one of the few Democrats that voted now in favor of it yesterday. And Fetterman, I'm going to play you talking about if Democrats can't find 7 votes to take this up in the Senate, meaning they have, we have 53 Republicans who are going to vote that there be debate and then a vote on the Laken Riley bill. If 7 Democrats won't go along with that, Fetterman's saying, well, that's why you lost the election. Yet, here's my grand thing to ask today. Out there in Montgomery County, the Dean of Decency, right? Young woman killed. These guys should have been in jail. They're here illegally. Oh, decency. No, Madeline Dean. Yeah, that's right. You're standing for decency. And her
You're
soul.
simpletons.
Decency.
You're idiots if you don't get that.
Oh, sorry, somebody Rendell there. Snuck in.
And her soulmate, Mary Gay Scanlon, also voting against Laken Riley and joined by the Houlihan. Now, she's out there in Chester County, and we have sound coming up of Scott Presler, who was there last night for a big meeting and saying we're only 4,900 registrations behind, something like that, in Chester County. Let's go and get them. We're going to turn that, is his next mission, Chester County. We're going to turn that red again. The point is this, and we'll play you Fetterman. I'm looking at the Delaware Valley Journal, the only one that really covered this in detail. And Houlihan told them and others she didn't support this Laken Riley bill because she believes in the Constitution and people have constitutional rights. Can you imagine this woman? But more unimaginable is this. What the hell is wrong with these people in the suburbs? What, for once is wrong with them? Are they unaware of these things? Or is there some payoff these nitwit three blondes are giving them that I can't figure out? In other words, Brendan Boyle in the city, Democrat in the city, voted, along with all Republicans, and I think 6 other Democrats, for the Laken Riley bill. Why would these 3 women in the suburbs, and it's a young woman here, raped, attacked, you know the whole story. Why would they do that politically? What is it they're thinking? What are they afraid of? So here's Fetterman, while you're thinking about that, 855-839-1210. This is Cut 7. Here's Fetterman. I think this was with Brett Baer last night. Here's John Fetterman making the point to Dems opposing the Laken Riley Act. This is why you lost the election.
So what do you say to that? You've signed on to this bill.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a lot of enormous respect for my colleague in the House, but I just happen to disagree on this. And for me, just like my friend and colleague in the Senate, like, it's really common sense. And I'd like to remind everybody that we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of migrants here illegally that have convicted of crimes. And why, I don't know why, who wants to defend to allow them to remain in our nation through that? And now, if you're here illegally and you're committing crimes and those things, I don't know why anybody thinks that it's controversial that they all need to go.
Do you think that this was one of, if not the biggest issue for this election?
Well, I think if we can't, there's 47 of us in the Senate, and if we can't pull up with 7 votes, if we can't get at least 7 out of 47, and if we can't, then that's the reason why we lost. That's one of them. That's one of why we lost, in part.
There you go, right there. So how do you do this in the House, though? So he's saying if we can't get 7 senators, along with the 53 Republicans, he's the first Democrat sponsor of this bill. That's common sense. Well, that's why we lost. What am I missing? What has changed so much fundamentally? Is it just that the media doesn't make people aware of this enough? Is it that really they look at Madeline Dean and Houlihan and Mary Gay Scanlan and they think, yes, that's exactly what we want representing us? It's across the suburbs. Meanwhile, I see that 2 Delaware County seats are up and Republicans think they have a shot. Have a shot. Come on, guys, Republican Party. This is the place where they just raised taxes by 23%. Enormous. Across the suburbs, they did it. Montgomery County, the Mr. Softy guy, out there in Chester County, but most egregiously in Delaware County, which I really don't understand Democrat control there. So am I just failing reality test? Not seeing what's happened in the suburbs. Democrats have won. People don't want to hear these good government, small government, common sense anymore. They want to have men playing against women in sports. They want to have enormous tax increases. They want to not protect us from these illegal aliens who would kill us and rape women, or anybody maybe. What is it in the suburbs where Brendan Boyle in the city read the room and voted for this? And you hear Fetterman. Here's a little bit more of Fetterman, too. This will be cut 9. Here's Fetterman talking about Greenland and Trump trying to get Greenland.
Talk about like there's a lot of talk about Greenland, for example. Now, and I know there's a lot of freakouts, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it and whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana purchase? Oh, I think Alaska was a great deal too. $50 million, I think it was. It was referred to as Seward's Folly, and now that was Alaska now. So I mean, open to having all kinds of conversations as well. And now I don't think it's not helpful to freak out, but some things might work out, some may not, but that's part of ongoing dialogue. But he hasn't even taken office in 2 weeks, and we really need to pace ourselves if we're going to freak out over every last tweet or every last conversation or press conference. but
All right, Fetterman, there again. So why are these others in the suburbs right around us able to get away with this stuff? Or if we ask people in Montgomery County, by and large, if this were a referendum, we're on the ballot. Yeah, here's what happens with the Lake and Riley bill. You know about Lake and Riley, right? Yeah, I think they were right. I don't like that. These people have constitutional rights. That's what Houlihan tells us. Chrissy Houlihan out there in Chester County. They have constitutional rights. They're being violated if they're being held after they commit another crime and they're here illegally. We want them to be out there until they murder someone. And then maybe it's only one murder. The big three right here across the suburbs, representing Delaware County, Chester County, Montgomery County. 855-839-1210. You get on board. By the way, we have some sound today, too. The fire chief of Los Angeles. Couple of interviews. She's heavily engaged in DEI. That's her big initiative. That's the big thing that she's engaged in. Now, wouldn't you think, when you see what a tinderbox L.A. can be, that might be the last thing you're looking for in firefighting? We're going to see how that DEI works with this horrendous situation that's going on right now. Plus, the mayor didn't even come back until last night, started to head back. It's stunning stuff. All right, let me give you the side question. Here's how you get in, 855-839-1210. What would you say is the reason these three, Brendan Boyle, Fetterman, both Democrats, they see the writing on the wall? Maybe they're right. Maybe the suburbs around us are just, they've lost their minds. Do you or do you not want to be protected from people that are here illegally that are committing crimes? They don't have a constitutional right to stand on it. What's a constitutional right to Chrissy Houlihan, who at least usually masquerades a little bit that she's not crazed like Madeline Dean? These people in the suburbs are not elevated in any way, shape, or form because they're continuing to vote for people like this. These people feel they're safe. Brendan Boyle, in a city like Philadelphia, now true, Northeast Philadelphia, did go for Trump. And we had that young guy make it to the state senate there, Joe Picozzi, is kind of historic. It's been a number of years, so maybe that's why Brendan Boyle read the room. Why are these people not reading the room? All right, the 855-839-1210. Jump on board now. I want to get you in early. What's your theory? Why the suburbs? What is it they're engaged in? All right, side question. Today is the birthday of Kim Jong-un. We know about Elvis. We talked yesterday about Linda Kearns and all, but we are looking and not, remember the side question is to be taken the softer side of Sears. Mm-hmm. You know, it's fun, not Hitler answers and all, the ones we don't accept. So Kim Jong-un obviously is one of the worst persons in the world in a real sense.
Living, right?
Yeah, living. We're looking at somebody who's the worst person in the world.
The worst person in the world.
In that sense. So Oberman will certainly qualify. Somebody
That's
who
a great answer.
Yeah, Keith Oberman would qualify. Somebody who's always out there. They're insufferable. It is very difficult to take no matter what. They are the worst person living in the entire world. Dan, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Dr. Andy Hildebrand, a guy who in 2023 won a Grammy, believe it or not. But Dr. Andy Hildebrand was a guy that worked in oil. And he had a program that would use seismic activity and somehow reverse engineer how seismic waves work into something that can be read by computers. Well, he found out if he reversed that process, he could use it on audio files and voices, and that led to the invention of what we now know as auto-tune. The oil, this oil expert went into the world of music. In 2023, he won a Grammy or technical Grammy award for his creation of auto-tune, but man, did that guy ruin music, and the state of current music is absolutely pitiful.
Technical Grammy?
Yeah.
All right. That is a good one. So, Henry, do you have one?
Yeah, I got a group of guys here. It's the Major League Baseball team owners that aren't interested in spending money or even competing. And I mean the guy who owns the Marlins, because they're a dumpster fire, Bruce Sherman, the Reds owner, Bob Castellini, the Pirates owner, Bob Nutting, the Angels owner, Artie Moreno, the Rockies owner, the Monfort brothers, and most of all, the Athletics owner, John Fisher. I mean, being so cheap that you can't keep your team in Oakland. I understand, it's not the best there right now, but moving them up to the AAA ballpark in Sacramento is your big answer. It just bothers me that these guys don't care about competing. They don't care about, putting a good product out there. All they care is getting that revenue share at the end of the season so they can, sit on their money. And it's a shame because it hurts. It hurts.
It's socialism.
It is.
All pro football and baseball is.
So. It's even worse that there's no salary cap in baseball, and they get all this free money, and they go, yeah, this is mine now, not reinvesting it in the team.
When you get socialism, you don't have to.
All right, it's fair.
All right, so those are the side questions today. Somebody, and don't call in with just horrific criminal, that kind of thing. 855-839-1210, get in with that. Also, this vote, Fetterman, again, great interview yesterday on Fox. I know, well, Dom, you can't try. I get all that. But he did sponsor this. He's leading the way. Will Democrats get 7 more senators to make this filibuster proof so they can actually debate and then vote on it? Questionable. I don't think they still have gotten. This is what America wants. But Brendan Boyle did. Why are these representatives in the suburbs, Dean, Scanlan, Houlihan, giving us all this nonsense? Their constituents, think about Chester County. What did we have last year as one of the biggest stories? Cavalcante, the guy who crab walked up the side of the prison, was on the loose for what, 24 days, 3 weeks, something like that. And yet, in Chester County, nobody, this girl got killed, raped, it could happen to anybody. We got Americans that do it. Something is loose in the suburbs here. How in the world are Republicans over in Delaware County saying they have a shot? 23% tax increase. Are you morons in Delaware County to accept that and not say, that's it, you're gone? That's almost a quarter in 1 year. How in the world are these Democrats getting away with it? 855-839-1210. Jump on board. Your call's next on Talk Radio 1210.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Failla, 7 to 10 p.m.
Back when I was a cab driver, trying to make my way in comedy and find some entree into television and radio and everything in between, I was writing articles, mocking sports culture and cancel culture and things like that. And they had booked me an interview on WPHT. They were the very first radio station to ever book me as a guest. We had a lot of laughs. So to be sitting here, 8 or 9 years later as a host in your lineup is obviously a really big deal to me personally.
Jimmy Failla, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, it's John DeMasi, host of Healthwatch, a live call-in show airing every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. on WPHT. What would you do to protect yourself this cold and flu season? Well, medical hydration therapy at Innovative Medical Associates could help to boost your immune system. That's because vitamin C and other key nutrients are delivered intravenously right to your cells. Medical hydration therapy may even lessen symptoms should you become ill with a virus or suffer with long COVID or post-COVID conditions. Dr. Molly Fantasia at Innovative Medical Associates prescribes a personalized treatment plan for every patient.
We are a medical facility. We treat our IV protocols or our hydration protocols as a medical modality.
Learn more about the benefits of medical hydration therapy at innovativemedicalassociates.com. And be sure to join Dr. Molly and me on Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 for Healthwatch on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's Joe Conlin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a Christmas gift to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. It's amazing.
That's Conlin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conlin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconlin.com. joeconlin.com!
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Your Penn State Nittany Lions are in the Orange Bowl, and all the coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, a little Neil Young for our next caller, Neil Young, who ran against Houlihan out in Chester County.
The singer?
Yeah. He's seen the light of day. And now I'm looking right at the Delaware Valley Journal. Houlihan talks about constitutional rights involved with the people who killed Lake and Riley Act. She says, where do I have it here? Yes. Houlihan attacked the legislation as carefully written to intentionally erode constitutional protections, beginning with undocumented immigrants. She added, Trump promised these kinds of dangerous changes, and the Republicans in Congress are desperately trying to satisfy him regardless of the implications of the legislation should it become law. Hey, lady, I'm a law school dropout at Rutgers Night School, although I did win the moot court competition. You're a lawyer, I believe. You're constitutional principles. Give us a call sometime. Let's talk about that. What's going on with these people in places like Chester County? Now, I know it's an open secret. There's a vast underground of illegal workers they need. Is that what it is? They want them out there in Chester County. At least certain mushroomy type of enterprises do, I guess.
The southern part of the county.
Yeah, I don't know if the horses. So they want it. It's good for the economy. How dare you then, if you say anything? Oh, what's over in Montgomery County that they want people here illegally and they want to get on their high horse? Or Delaware County? Got to face this. Brendan Boyle is a political operator extraordinaire, as much as I oppose him on everything, time of day, etc. He's reading the tea leaves in it's Philadelphia still, though. He turned around this time and he voted to protect us. Good for him, whatever the reason. Yet in the suburbs, they don't want to protect you. They want to tell you about the Constitution. Really? When Cavalcanti was running wild across the landscape, did you say, hey, he's got constitutional rights too? Is that what was happening? All right, let's go to Neil Young, who did run against the Houlihan last time around.
And not the singer, just to clarify.
Yeah, right. Hey, Neil, welcome to the show. So, Neil, straight up, is it just the industry out there wants illegals and that's it? Neil, are you there?
Neil?
What the heck happened here? All right, I'll put him on hold. All right. 855-839-1210.
What happened? I know what happened. Just put him back through, Henry, please. Put him back through. Thank you. Just put him back through. Put him back on hold. Oh. You got him now. Sorry about that.
All right. Let's go to Neil Young. Hey, Neil, welcome in. So is it just that simple? There are industries, other things out there that want to have this?
Well, Tom, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Just want you to know I'm also a fellow teacher like yourself, so
I appreciate you taking the jump and going into talk radio and influencing so many people. But I think you're dead on. I actually sat with the Chester County Chamber of Commerce for endorsement. That was one of the questions they asked me. They said, well, what would you do with all of the, migrant itinerant workers? I mean, really what they were referring to, obviously, was those who were here illegally for the mushroom business. What would you propose to do? And I kind of gave them this puzzled look, and I said, well, there's not exceptions here. Obviously, there's an order in which we would deport, but if you're not here legally, like you said, don't talk to me about the Constitution, the document that they want to shred up at every turn. They're here illegally. And I don't think that's why I didn't get the endorsement. I think it was already sort of predetermined. But yeah, the Chamber of Commerce didn't endorse me. So I think half of it is that. Half of it is that there's industry here that rely on them. But I think the vast majority of it is that people in Chester County, they're thousands of miles from their border. They live a very good life. Chester County is a very good place to live. And they feel insulated from, even with Cavalcanti, we talk about that. It was more voyeuristic. We watched it it was almost entertainment for us. Instead of actually getting down to, what's really the heart of the issue here? Why do we have such migrant crime, even in an area like this? I think people just dismiss it.
That is great. That's my favorite word, insulated. It's like Chestnut Hill. Stay there for a second, Neil. Here's Scott Presler. We didn't know he was going to be in Chester County last night with the chairman, Raffi. Here's what they said, though.
Tell Scott me and him got to get together, and let's flip Chester County.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, here he is. He's only one of them to go around. We're trying to win Jersey first, but he's working on Chester County on the side. I didn't even know. Here's what he said, Neil.
Hey, everybody, this is Scott Presler. I am here in Chester County with Chairman Raffi. Now, we have some exciting news because, A, we are continuing our partnership, and it is our goal to flip Chester County from blue to red. And, Chairman, how many voters away are we from flipping Chester County from blue to red?
We are only 4,992 people away from doing that, Scott. And we're excited.
And, guys, did you know that there are like 50,000 unaffiliated voters? So it is a really real possibility that we could flip Chester County.
We are going to flip this county.
That's right.
Ooh, confidence.
So, Chairman, where can people go to your website to find more information about this Chester County office, which is at 15 South Church Street in Westchester?
Our website is republicancccc.com, and we're also on Instagram and X.
And what is your X account?
X account is at Chesco GOP.
So, if you guys are excited about our huge win in Pennsylvania in 2024, if you are excited about us flipping Bucks County and Beaver County and Luzerne County and Center County, then let's make Chester County the next county that we flip from blue to red, and it's going to be because of early vote action and Chairman Raffi. Let's go.
Oh, and Neil Young, who...
And Neil Young. So Neil, we'll see if we can hook you up with him and tell Scott Presler about that. It was fabulous. It's very doable.
Yeah.
That's the county we're going to turn next.
Without a doubt.
Now, Neil, that explains Chester County. I'm not sure with the other counties, though. They don't. I get it. That's my first thought, the mushroom stuff and all that. I would invite the Chester County Chamber of Commerce on. I don't think they'll come on because they don't want that dirty secret to be out there. And here's the thing, Neil. It's one thing for them to say, well, we need these workers, as they told you, as regrettable as that is, bringing people in illegally, undercutting Americans, et cetera. But you mean to say the Laken-Riley Act, though, has anything to do with that? Isn't that just protecting us? It's different.
Yeah, 100%. And that logic sort of applies to Houlihan, who she is as a person. Her voting record, and I tried to, sort of trumpet this, but her voting record was actually more extreme than Casey. It was 99.2% or something. She voted against Laken-Riley. She was in favor of kids playing sports in Pennsylvania that matched their gender expression instead of their actual biological sex. She's as radical as they come, but because she's this PR machine and nobody really stands up to her in a meaningful way and calls her out for who she is, because she's this machine, she comes off as a moderate when she's anything but.
Absolutely.
And
Neil, stay in touch. We'll talk with you soon. All right, we'll get more on that. What's up with the suburbs? Laken Riley's a lot different than just work visas or whatever. People are killing us, and Houlihan, Madeline Dean, and Scanlan, they're on the other side. That's what it comes down to. They have no answer to this, but the people that vote for them. All right, coming up, Philadelphia, grew up here. John Yoo is with us, esteemed attorney. We'll talk the sentencing of Trump on Friday, Supreme Court, but also he was instrumental in the Gitmo prisoners. We'll talk with him next on Talk Radio 1210.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
The election is over and a new pro-business administration's about to begin. At Swish Funding, we're ready to help America's small businesses thrive in 25. Whether it's for cash flow, expansion, or new equipment, Swish Funding has flexible funding options from $25,000 up to $2 million. You could get a decision in minutes and cash in your account in as little as 24 hours, with rates as low as 8%. To qualify, be in business at least 1 year, with monthly revenue of at least $50,000. Apply today at swishfunding.com. SWISH funding.com. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home that you think was full of you-know-what, trying to sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need? Look, if your furnace or heat pump need to be fixed, we'll send one of our technicians out to do one thing: fix it. And if we do think you need a new furnace or heat pump, we'll send out one of our factory-trained teams to install state-of-the-art Train heating system to keep you warm. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinecans.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford White water heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs. All day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Free speech lives here with Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time. We should talk with noted attorney John Yoo. First on our radar screen, and I wanted to get him on anyhow to talk about the Trump sentencing. What happens now? The Supreme Court will be involved, I think. Okay, let's go to John Yoo here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, John, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, great to be with you again, Dom. Happy New Year.
I don't have your full credentials in front of me, but, John, they lead page after page out there in Berkeley. What's your current designation?
Well, I'm a professor out here at Berkeley, and I'm also a visiting professor at the University of Texas at Austin, which has started one of these new civic leadership schools. Yeah, so I'm starting that this year, too. So I'm getting back to Philly eventually. I'm halfway there now.
Now, you're a Philly guy, so you follow the Eagles. Before we get to the light stuff with Supreme Court, Trump, Gitmo, Saquon Barkley, would you have played him? I would.
Yeah, I would have, too. I would have loved to see him break the record against the Giants, of all people. I feel bad for the guy. I think he clearly would have made it, and he deserves it. He deserves the title this year of the most rushing yards in the history of the NFL. He's a great talent. We're lucky to have him, although when he dropped that pass against the Falcons and what was it, game 2, I wasn't so sure.
Well, see, I would have called you and asked you to file some kind of suit, a habeas corpus or something of the football variety to be able to do this, John. So, John, first of all, I don't know if you know, but I did do the first radio show from Gitmo, and I stared down these guys playing soccer, the picnic table situation and all that. So when I see Biden transfer these 11 people back to the Middle East, all right, that'll rejoin the battle at some point, I would assume. You are one of the preeminent guys who crafted legally, I think, and I'm only a law school dropout at Rutgers Law at night, but from what I read, walked the tightrope there as far as exactly how to deal with this. What are your thoughts now about Gitmo? And I guess we still have some of the biggies there.
Dom, so first I was right there at the Justice Department when the planes hit the Twin Towers, when the plane hit the Pentagon. I was part of the team that picked the Guantanamo Bay location. I had to go down there and visit and see the facility for itself, as you did. I think that we need a place like Guantanamo Bay. If it wasn't going to be there, it'd have to be somewhere else, because there are the worst of the worst. The people who planned the 9/11 attacks, the people who planned more attacks, killed thousands of Americans. They have blood of Americans on their hands. They're the worst terrorists. We got to have a place to hold them somewhere in the world. So that's one. Second thing, we have every right to under the law. We're at war with the al-Qaeda terrorist network. They attacked us first. We have every right to capture members of the enemy. And three, most importantly, they gave us enormous amounts of intelligence. You go back and read the 9/11 Commission report, and you'll see like 3/4 of the things we know about al-Qaeda that allowed us to roll them up, that eventually allowed us to get Osama bin Laden and his top deputies, were because of the things we learned from the people we captured. In this kind of war, we're not going to beat the terrorists by finding their armies or by destroying enemy cities. We have to get intelligence to stop future attacks. I think it worked amazingly successfully. We were able to stop any attacks on the homeland for the first 8 years of this war.
I do too. And again, listeners, maybe now it's banking. Oh, that's the guy that was in the center of this, meaning you, crafting all this, navigating unnavigated waters. So just wanted to say that when we see the 11 released now by Biden for God knows what reason, we really owe you a debt of gratitude that you were there, had the fortitude to do this, and the legal knowledge to do it carefully. It was carefully done.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree. And look, I do not understand why Biden is doing this, although I can't tell you I don't understand why Biden commuted all the sentences of people on death row held by the federal government. I think he's trying to go out desperate to grab anything that will help history remember him as anything other than a failed president. And so he's releasing people from Gitmo. He's commuting the sentences of definitely. He's trying to remove millions of acres from oil and gas exploration because he's desperate to do anything that he hopes somebody in the future is going to think kindly on him because he's had a terrible record these last 4 years.
Without a doubt. Now, the Trump situation, the sentencing looks like it's on course. Trump appealing to the Supreme Court. And again, why with Merchan when it seems pretty clear to anybody following this that due to the Supreme Court immunity situation, this is going to be overturned on appeal because there were several areas that would poison the entire thing. I don't know. The only thing you could do is hold a new trial, but you certainly can't stand on this. What are your thoughts, and what do you think the Trump people ought to do?
Don, you did a good job reading the Supreme Court case. Are you sure you dropped out? I think you just tell people you dropped out. I think you passed, and you're on billboards in New Jersey saying, call me if you had an accident.
Fall,
but you don't want
yes.
anyone to know.
Yeah,
you don't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
No, that's what you said is a good capsule summary of where the law is, and that reveals why Judge Merchan's decision to sentence President Trump this Friday is so blatantly and nakedly political. Look, the verdict came down from the jury in May, right? 7 months ago, 8 months ago. The Supreme Court issued its immunity decision, which you just mentioned, on July 1st. So this guy has had 5-6 months to sentence Trump if he wanted to, and then Trump could have gone right up on appeal, and as you said, would, I think, almost certainly have won, because the Supreme Court in the immunity decision spends 3 or 4 pages saying that judges can't use evidence that this judge used, that this judge introduced. This case should be thrown out or retried. But what did Judge Merchan do? He delayed and delayed and delayed, and now he says, 10 days before the inauguration, I'm going to sentence Trump. The only reason he's doing this is to prevent Trump from appealing effectively before the inauguration, because Merchan wants Trump to be the first felon president. That's all this has been about. It's a terrible thing for the country because it's just going to continue the cycle of lawfare that Democrats opened for the first time.
Without a doubt. One other area, too, talking with John Yoo here on Talk Radio 1210. John, the J6 pardons, Trump speaks and says some things and bobs, and we called it the weave. I would be amazed that he's going to pardon or commute everybody involved here. And I think people are looking at this and they'll present him with people. Give me your sense, if you were advising, there's certainly people that I think have suffered with the excess sentencing and conditions. But to me, there's any number who deserve and continue to substantial prison time.
Yeah, Don, look, you're in a city, I'm from a city that actually sees the problems you can have with policies that are too light on crime, right? You don't want to release everybody. But Donald Trump's not like the DA of Philadelphia, Larry Krasner here, right? So so there's not going to be a Krasner, pardon policy here. What he's going to do, I think, is look at the cases one by one and commute the sentences or pardon people who just went in with the crowd. They were looking around. They didn't attack anyone. They didn't try to kidnap anybody. They weren't violent. And then he's going to have to look more closely at the people who were violent. I think people who attacked police officers are not going to get pardoned. People who tried to kidnap members of Congress are not going to get pardoned. People who are violent, I don't think are going to get pardoned. They might get a reduction in their sentence, but I don't think Trump is going to release everybody en masse. Again, he doesn't want to repeat what Joe Biden just did with death row, right? He doesn't want to sort of say, I don't care about the facts of any individual violent offender. I'm just going to commute the death penalty for everybody. I don't think Trump's going to do something like that. He doesn't want to be another Biden. He doesn't want to start his presidency off that way.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. So what do you say, Eagles, Packers this weekend? What's your prediction?
I think Eagles by 10. They already beat them once, right? Yeah. And, the only thing I worry about is you guys you're bracing for, by then, storm number 3 this week. And those kind of conditions favor the Packers. They probably never don't play in snow up there, wherever they're from.
That's
up
good.
north.
Are
they from Canada? I think, aren't they? I mean, I don't even remember. I'm not sure where their team is.
We're going to trade them to Canada at some point. That's in the works.
Well, Canada's going to be another state anyway, so they still might be American.
That's true. John, thank you so much. Anytime you're in Philadelphia, we want to meet you, have you in studio for an hour with us here and shoot the breeze. John, thank you. Thanks for the legal advice today.
Thank you. You're paying for the cheesesteaks when I come by.
All right. Gotcha. John Yoo here on Talk Radio 1210. I just wanted you to know when we have him on about legal things that pop up. He's one of the best. But also, he is the guy who was the architect, essentially, you heard him today, of formulating Gitmo and how they were going to interrogate, how they were going to use so-called waterboarding. Well, it is waterboarding. All right, to extract information. Biden, 11 more people sent home. All right, let's go to Joe in Columbus. And Joe is on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom. My side question. Just like these all of a sudden Democrats who decided to do the right and moral thing, probably for their own self-preservation, my answer, and I'll give you the two characteristics or the two personalities that I first conjured up. One was, thanks to Henry, Ellis from Die Hard 1, the guy who thought he could negotiate against the terrorists.
Right.
And White from The Office. And my answer is The Office kiss ass.
Well, I can't say that about Dwight, though. Is he insufferable? The other, yes, you're dead on. You think Dwight is, too?
Dwight kissed up to the boss on a regular basis. Lips were chapped, Tom.
That's true. Yeah, but it's kind of comical. All right. The other one's strong, though. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Joe. All right. It could be fictional, but we're looking for more people that are real life. Think about it. Not exactly mass murders or whatever. Kim Jong-un's birthday today. Now, that's a real deal. One of the worst people in the world.
Tongue-in-cheek
without a doubt.
answers.
Tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Softer side of Sears. All right. 855-839-1210. You heard John Yoo about the upcoming sentencing with Mershon. We'll see what the Supreme Court does. There's a possibility of intervention here around this. All they want, they're still going back to the playbook. They want him to be labeled a convicted felon. They don't care about any of the other parts that are related to it. But this Lake and Riley vote is a huge story. Fetterman endorsing in the Senate, saying we only need 7 Democrats so this can be debated. And if it is, they're going to vote to pass it. That's why we lost the election. Yeah, keep saying it. That's true. That's exactly the type of thing. And yet here in the Philadelphia suburbs, we have 3 representatives who refused to vote for it, and one of them lectured us about the Constitution and attacked Donald Trump. They don't want to protect you in the suburbs. And you seemingly just want cheap labor out there in Chester County. You don't care. All right, if you're looking to achieve your health goals this year, start the new year right, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and much more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating. You can save 35% on every single bottle of Rescue supplements with code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3s for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use that code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements with the code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best one yet with Rescue.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Do you think that banking is boring? At PNC, we know that meeting the banking needs of the community is anything but boring. That's why PNC Bank geared up this year and introduced the mobile branch across the region to bring banking services to underserved neighborhoods. And long before that, PNC Community Development Banking was leading the way in investing in the economic health of our neighborhoods. To see the brilliant results that boring banking can deliver for you, stop into any PNC branch right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A raging fire destroys a historic church in Norristown. Church leaders say they'll rebuild. Kids in Philadelphia will no longer face charges for first-time low-level offenses. And Whole Foods workers at the Spring Garden store have been trying to unionize, and they say the company is being harder on them because of it.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Hey, Cherry Hill. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker, play 1210 WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210. Dan, I'm not sure if you saw this. Henry put it together, but our old buddy John Ondrasik, who we first met when he gave us that compelling song about Afghanistan, the Afghanistan withdrawal, the war in Afghanistan. Then I think he did one that got a lot of play vis-a-vis the attack on Israel. Was it the October 7th or was it something with an attack on Israel? He did it. Now he's got a parody out, John Ondrasik, talking about Justin Trudeau and how Justin Trudeau never played hockey.
Wants you to know that he never played hockey.
Big hockey fan too, John. The entire reason for his band name that we mostly know him for, Five for Fighting, 100 Years Superman. Five for Fighting being a term from hockey. You know, you get five for fighting. Right. So being a big hockey fan himself, it makes sense why he's targeting the Canadian Prime Minister for not playing in their national sport.
Yeah, and it's the idea. This isn't a real guy. You know, this guy's father was in charge. Somehow or another, he's maneuvered himself along. He doesn't know reality of everyday life. How could he? But Canada's kind of like the suburbs. It seems to me that Canada would have a rough and tumble kind of prime minister, leader. Not a wimp like this. They seem like Texas to me, but they're probably not. So
maybe the country parts, right. But like obviously I think more in the cities like it is here, skews a little more liberal. Well, I mean, there's a lot of farmland out there out west.
Yeah, it seems to skew a lot more liberal, though, in that these are not just liberals. This guy's a progressive. I mean, this guy is very much in the forefront, not just the, liberals one thing, but the woke stuff. Canada has been in the forefront of it. I just never, Toronto particularly is a hotbed, so
Yeah, but if you watch, like, I highly suggest people check out the fictional show, but fantastic show, Letterkenny, which was a massive hit in Canada. It focuses on the day-to-days. It mocks the day-to-days of, rural Canada. I think it's Alberta where they are. And
right.
It's quite a different picture that you usually see of what you expect from those Toronto Liberals and such. And I think there is a span, but I do think that if you have someone like Trudeau who's regularly elected, I do think you're 100% right when you say there's definitely a very left-leaning ideology that comes from up north.
Yeah, it's progressive. It's not even just liberal. We'll see if they put the guy in who's kind of like the Newt Gingrich of Canada or not. And I happened to see The Daily Show last night. It's not Jon Stewart on Tuesdays. It's a female comedian saying, if Canada became the 51st state, which Trump's just playing with this, it's a big troll. Greenland, he's serious about, definitely serious about. Then they would no longer have free health care. You'd have to get used to what we have. How many times have we been down this road? Their health care sucks. You're in big trouble. When people in Canada have a brain tumor, they're not saying, thank God I'm in Canada. They're trying to get into Michigan or places like that. We've been through this again and again and again. Their health care is not good. You may see somebody, you may talk to somebody, but that doesn't mean anything consequential is going to happen. All right, 855-839-1210. By the way, Gallup now ranking Biden the second worst president ever. I don't know. We don't have living memory of James Buchanan to know how bad he could be. And it seems to be worse than Biden. But I put up on Twitter, who was worse, Trudeau or Biden? People, of course, went with Biden because we live here. I think, arguably, Trudeau was even worse. And how he's lasted 9 years, it's a miracle. All right, 1 o'clock hour, we're going to talk with Paula Scanlan because the Congress is looking at this big bill to go along with Trump's executive order that would stop males playing against females in various sports. But in addition to that, Paula Scanlan is on the trail. She's in Jersey on the ground for the Scott Presler campaign. 1:30, what is she seeing in that bird's eye view of what's happening in Jersey? Phone lines are 855-839-1210. Hit us with somebody who is the worst person in the world, tongue-in-cheek, having fun with it. Think of someone that just is almost insufferable, not necessarily someone who is a violent dictator or anything. And we'll have Dom's Money Melody a little bit later on. Don't forget also, the NAC is drawing closer. Inauguration Day, if you're not going to Washington, the best place to watch those moments are with friends, are with the family, with the community, the company. We had a great time when we were at the Newtown Athletic Club in November, honoring the people that brought this election home. Hundreds of people there, free food, drink, the whole thing. We're going to do that again. We'll start with Nick's show, Dawn's show, and my show up until 3, and we'll be there when Trump is sworn in. And we'll take your reaction. It should be a big moment after all this. So make plans for that Monday, Inauguration Day. 855-839-1210. Grab a line now on Talk Radio 1210.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
You know you've been testing fade, ignoring those home repairs. Start 2025 off right and call PJ Fitzpatrick to the rescue. If it's drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, or that dreaded leaking roof, PJ Fitzpatrick can take care of your home repair project right now and save you thousands of dollars on costly structural damage. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. Visit them on the web at trustpj.com. They'll save you some cash and they'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com.
Tasty Cake has a treat for every John. Peanut butter fans have candy cakes, the chocolate-coated cakes with a creamy layer of peanut butter inside. You like the simple classics? Crimpets are light sponge cakes topped with rich icing. Donut lovers have options for days. You've got frosted mini donuts, powdered mini donuts, and can't forget about the delicious Dippin' Sticks flavors. I mean, there's so many uniquely satisfying treats to choose from. But that's no surprise because it's Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Albert the Great Church on Welsh Road in Huntington Valley, Saturday, January 11th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. When you apply to University of Maryland Global Campus by February 12th, you'll pay no application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Paula Scanlan coming up at 1:30, 855-839-1210. You know, ever since the outgoing Surgeon General, I still maintain, came up with something that's grandstanding, preposterous about alcohol, moderate drinking, 1 drink a day, even something like that, as a big leading cause of cancer. I've been seeing more and more pieces today, several. Americans have to change our culture about drinking. Now, we've heard that before, but now there seems to be an onslaught of them. So there's a Pew Research story about 10 facts about Americans and alcohol as dry January begins. Now, I've never observed dry January. If you feel the need to do that, fine. I don't get it. If you are observing, why? Is it a test of will? Is it a health thing? Here's some facts that Pew put out today as dry January begins. This one's most interesting. Americans drink less beer and more wine than ever before. According to the National Alcohol People, since 1970, the peak year for beer consumption was 1981. Typical American age 21 or older drank 36.7 gallons per year, that is. Wow. By 2021, beer consumption had fallen to 26.5 gallons per person. Over those 4 decades, the amount of wine the average American drank annually rose from 3.2 gallons to 3.8 gallons. Meanwhile, consumption of distilled spirits dropped slightly from 3.0 to 2.8 gallons. So why in the world would more Americans be drinking wine? It's still going up, and beer consumption going down. Doesn't seem like there's any big reason. So if you're observing dry January, what?
more people drink seltzers now.
Okay.
It's simple. They don't like the taste of beer, and so they drink more seltzers. So that's why beer consumption's down.
And seltzers are a wine? You think?
No, I'm just saying it's taking away from beer.
Okay.
Not necessarily that it's increasing with wine, but
okay.
The seltzers are taken away from the beer population.
That drink that routinely.
Yeah, I think like a lot. You look at a lot of frat kids and like college kids. It's no longer natty lights on campus. A lot of times, it's these new seltzers that are on the markets and Celsius.
Everyone's got one.
And more alcohol content than beer.
I think it's about the same.
It's about the same. Yeah.
Okay. But wine consumption too gone up dramatically over the course of it. So if you're doing dry January, let us know how that's going and the reason. Again, this stuff with the Surgeon General, I think, is annoying. If you want to look at everything, that's fine. We've talked about the inroads RFK Jr. is making every day. There's something else out there. And here's the latest. Remember when we talked about RFK Jr., he made news saying, look, you shouldn't be going to McDonald's often and all that stuff. But if you are, if they use beef tallow, not the seed oils, we'd be a lot better off. Made sense, right? Read a piece yesterday that beef tallows are on the rise. People are using them on their skin. They're using them as a skin treatment. And it's just started. It's taken off. Not sure if that's effective. It might cause more pimples. But that has not stopped people from going down that path and doing it. So RFK Jr. is already making big inroads just by anything he touches like this. And it'll be really interesting when he actually has some power, some controls to see where it goes. All right, 855-839-1210. You get a line. AT&T, Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we're coming to you. And hit us on the side question. Worst person in the world. Kim Jong-un's birthday today. Hit us on that. And remember, tongue-in-cheek on that one. Get your name into the hat. Among other things, we started talking about Lake and Riley. Because I think this is going to be really tough on Democrats in the Senate. We played you John Fetterman. He was on with Brett Baer yesterday saying, if we can't find 7 Democrats out of 47 Democrat senators to at least allow this to be debated and then voted on, well, then that's why we lost the election. And that's true because this is a basic issue of whose rights are more important. Yours are the alleged rights of people that are here illegally. And then we talked about the 3 people locally. Now, I give Houlihan credit. She's out there in Chester County. She did respond to Delaware Valley Journal telling them she voted against the Lake and Riley Act, that it would protect you because it's unconstitutional to her. The poor alien migrants, they have constitutional rights too. And we heard from Neil Young, who ran against her the last time, saying, yeah, it's a Chester County council, the manufacturing council there, and the businesses there. They want them. What does Chester County want? Is that what it comes down to, though? That people in Chester County are on board with that. We need people here illegally. It's going to be interesting to see them when Trump starts deporting people. Are we going to see the suburbs erupt? We need those people. We want them to do our work, our mushrooms, and everything else. We don't want you fooling around with them. Yeah, but these people should have been kept in jail. They were already here illegally. They already had committed crimes. If they had been kept in jail to be deported, they wouldn't have raped and killed Lake and Riley. So what? How about those mushrooms? Is that what it is? Is it they need them and they're insulated in the suburbs from the worst of this? Makes you wonder then, how did Trump get elected? Because overwhelmingly Americans said no. That's not the case. We're not going to put up with this. The price is too high. We want to protect Americans. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210 and we'll get you on board. Here is this yesterday was embarrassing, to put it mildly, but I'm still going to play it. The Five. Roe watches that every day, loves the Five. I see the charm of it. You have five people, duking it. It's the most popular show on cable, numbers-wise, without a doubt. So they brought in a woman who's on Fox New York, I think a news anchor. So in New York, that's big. Listen to what she said yesterday. And listen for the phrase 1867. Here's what she said about Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland, too, just like Trump is. Cut 6.
Roseanne, what I love about this whole situation is that Trump could just bring something up and say, well, let's just see what happens. Can we buy this? How much does that cost? And people laugh, but then you go, wait a minute. It's actually happening.
Well, it actually is not the first time this has happened. They're calling the president-elect bananas and crazy for coming up with this idea. But by the way, this is not the first time that America's tried to buy Greenland. Back in 1867, Democratic President Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland for $100 million, which would be about a bill in our day and age, $1 billion. Didn't happen. Obviously, still very important. And as you mentioned, Jesse, has a lot of minerals. Very important for our country. I think the president may be onto something.
I got felt thinking, oh, man, what happened here? Why was that seat occupied by this woman? Hit the ejection button. And she was looking down at notes there. Harry Truman was born, I believe, in 1888 or thereabouts. But in 1867, he was bidding on Greenland. Now, he did bid on Greenland in 1946, okay? And I think there's a reasonable suspicion that this could happen, that there are people in Greenland that don't want to be hooked up with Denmark, and that for the right price, Denmark might do it. That would be a coup of coups. This is the stuff that goes down in the history books. And Greenland would be very effective strategically and apparently very rich in various natural resources. So Don Trump Jr. was there yesterday talking about adoring crowd. Stan, did you happen to see who was with him?
No, tell me.
Sergio Gore.
Oh, Sergio was there?
Yes,
I didn't see him, no.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I didn't see the video of him there.
That's his buddy, and he'll be in charge of White House personnel. He's a guy that helped broker getting Don Jr. here for the politics and pints. It didn't look that cold there, but I'm sure it is.
Pretty cold.
Yeah, they didn't look like they had hats on or anything. Maybe that was part of the thing, trying to make it not look too bad. So will Trump really try to buy Greenland? This is cut 18. Here's what Don Jr. said.
Did they seem interested in the idea of getting closer to the United States and maybe being liberated from Denmark, who's had control of Greenland for the last 200 years?
100%. I mean, honestly, I didn't see a single negative. I mean, we had crowds waving as we were landing. We went to restaurants, invited locals in. We went to the local bars. We went in there. We went to some of the cultural sites. Literally 100% positive from what I was able to see and experience. And again, these are people that feel they've been exploited. They have not been treated well by Denmark. They're prevented from utilizing the great natural resources that they have, whether that's coal, whether that's uranium, whether that's other rare earth minerals.
Freezing my ass off up here.
It's really an incredible place. And these people are saying, we just want a better future for ourselves, and Denmark doesn't allow us to do anything. And beyond that, when we travel to Denmark, we're treated as second and third class citizens. It was really amazing. It was a very eye-opening experience. The reception could not have been warmer, Rob. It was great. I think there's definitely a path for my father and his administration to do something there that benefits both the people of Greenland as well as the people of the United States, both from a trade and commerce standpoint, from a military and strategic location. It actually seems like a total no-brainer.
All right, Don Trump Jr. there in Greenland. Coming up, YouTube watch. If you're not watching YouTube right now, get there. You should be. Hulk Hogan returns, I think last night, whatever it was the first Netflix with Raw, the big production of the WWE. So who do they roll out? Well, the all-timer who got a lot of face time in the Republican campaign will play you coming up the reception that Hulk Hogan got.
Debatable all-timer.
And then ask
Ric Flair,
why in the world was this reception to Hulk Hogan? Does it have anything to do with the Trump campaign? All right, 855-839-1210. Hit us on the side question. Hit us with something or someone alive that is all world, the worst person in the world. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Gabe Rangel joining us, part of the Travis Manion Foundation, a Marine Corps expert parachutist. The parachute actually goes off automatically?
There's different type of platforms that you're jumping off and if you're pulling. So a halo jump is a high altitude, low opening, meaning you are pulling it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing normal about jumping out of a perfectly good plane.
Gabe Rangel served in the United States military, the Marine Corps, and making sure that our right tackle in Philadelphia is sound physically and mentally.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
What's better than bacon? Bacon on everything, of course. Add Hatfield bacon to every meal, from breakfast to dinner, for the perfect sizzling taste your family will love. With flavors like hardwood smoked, applewood smoked, maple brown sugar, and cuts from classic to extra thick, there's a Hatfield bacon for every recipe. Get inspired at simplyhatfield.com and discover new ways to enjoy your favorite bacon. Hatfield Bacon. Find your flavor with Hatfield and put pork on your fork.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Swish Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America with affordable funding as soon as one business day. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $2 million. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $25,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with no collateral. Go to swishfunding.com today. That's swishfunding.com.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's one talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. So we're starting to see the first, and I'm going to be careful with this, but I would say where my gut leans. Trump and Newsom getting into it. Fox News Channel, they had a guy, one of their reporters, firefighters simply do not have the resources to continue fighting all these California wildfires. Well, by resource, I think one of the biggest resources they're talking about is water. And some of the policies in California, it's a difficult situation. You know, it's utopia, California, weather-wise and all that, but you have the mudslides. You have these wild weather swings, including the wind, and fires that can happen all over the place. And this is one of the worst. But what are their water policies? How do they play into not being able to effectively fight this? Then you have the mayor of L.A., even though when this was happening yesterday, still not come back from what I think she got back today to be in charge. You have this video out there of the biggest public policy of the head of the L.A. County firefighters. This is cut 20. Here's the L.A. fire chief, if you will, talking about what her biggest policy is to fight fires. Is it to have the very best? Well, they say when you have diversity, you have the very best. No, I don't think you do. I think you have the very best when you have the very best by some metric other than diversity. Effectiveness. You know, sometimes that means size, dexterity. It means a whole lot of things. Cut 20.
We are hosting our new employee orientation, and our focus is to teach our new employees for them to understand cultural competency, identify implicit and unconscious bias, and be aware of the importance of us having a diverse and inclusive workforce.
Diversity is important because the different people bring different lenses to their job, and those different ideas, those different lenses are important to have the best practices for our industry.
We have people here from hazmat, we have dispatchers in the room, we have people that are responsible for financial management, we have our information management division, and also from human resources. So we have a variety of professionals that are receiving this training.
We teach people how to deal with conflict responsively, how to have challenging conversations, break down stereotypes, and learn more about cultural competence. And so we do this by working to advance equity throughout community partners and internal departments within Los Angeles County.
Yeah, that's really going to put those fires out. All right. It's obvious. I watched the interview with this fire chief, this female that's risen to that level. I don't see somebody hell-bent to be the best in the world at stopping devastation. These are distractions at best. All right, let's go to Greg in the Northeast. And Greg, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Dom. Hey, guys.
Hi.
There's this show and every news cycle. I was thinking to say something else, and then when you come up and run that last piece, and you could go down a whole rabbit hole. So the first thing is the beer. I just find it ironic that beer and alcohol now, they're saying causes cancer, even if it's a minor intake or a little bit of an intake. But yet, all you have to do is look in the billboards and look around in magazines, and they're pushing marijuana like it's hard candies. I mean, I find that to be ironic. I said, that's nuts. And then you said something about the beer consumption down from 81. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to do the tracking. That's because men were lunkheads back then. We actually had fun. The commercials were fun. Half-naked ladies on bikinis all over the place, guys acting like stooges, and they just wanted to let it ride and enjoy themselves. So now everybody can't be a lunkhead as men, and then we had the IPAs, and they're a little more distinguished. Nothing wrong with IPAs. It's still good, but it's just a shot. It all comes in a shot at men and they want to make the revenue off the marijuana. So there's definitely there's an end game to their madness. You know what I mean? I do believe that they can actually think 7 different stupid things at once in their minds and make it run cohesive.
All right, so I'll put
that's
you
what I
down.
think.
You're not a seltzer guy. A lot more seltzers there, but Greg, who's your person that's the worst person in the world? This is a pretty good one.
And she's probably the sweetest old lady, Janet Yellen. I think I think I'm more capable of running the monetary value of this country than she was.
Thank you. Every time Janet Yellen would speak, they'd have to walk it back. Yeah, she does seem okay, but the stuff she was saying during this, well, what are you talking about? Inflation, best economy ever, essentially. By the way, Dan, little update since he mentioned marijuana. We have the $1 billion industry now, was just to figure out this morning. That's what they're touting. All right, $1 billion.
Ooh. Is
So
that straight revenue or?
That's what they took in. I'm not sure what the cost is.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. It's strange to me. So maybe it is working. I don't know what illegal sales would be. I didn't think people would pay because you're taxed on this essentially. You're paying more. Is it just knowing what you're getting? Is it that there's no onus anymore? People are not afraid to go to a store. I'd love to see if the store in Morristown, if it's there, we knew they were going to put a couple stores in, if that's happening. But $1 billion as they hit, they predicted they would start to bring in billions. I said, I don't see it. There's no way you're going to do that because people are not going to pay that or want to be seen doing it. So is it a big success? Yeah. I would say in Jersey it is. Is there any downside? The only downside still unresolved is if you're driving, how do they test to determine if you're impaired beyond the legal limit? I still think that's up in the air. But I haven't seen anybody say, well, yeah, that's a deal breaker.
So 190 dispensaries throughout the state, $2 billion in revenue since April 2022 when it was recreationally legalized. Right. $43 million this year, estimated tax revenue. That was back in September, numbers from CRC. That's the Cannabis Regulatory Commission.
Okay, so it's $43 million they're bringing in taxes, which is still not enormous, but they are creating jobs. And they did $1 billion in revenue at least. So is that a success? I don't hear anybody saying, let's go back, let's not deal with the only downside I've seen, we see it every summer. Because of their own racism, they said now that they can't bust adults who are black for marijuana, they're going to go after kids, so we're going to let kids essentially get away with stuff. That's the downside. But otherwise, it seems to be working.
Do you remember whether the whole, uproar in Morristown over the marijuana on the main strip, was that about the place Nurse? Was that what the company was? Or
I'm not sure. I know they were moving it in to a more remote part of Morristown.
Because I remember there was something over it, and I walked by a place called Nurse. And I don't even know if Nurse it says Nurse CBD, but I think they have THC products as well. Right. And the store itself is beautiful. It looks like a very artisan-type shop and storefront, and you look in, and it looks really nice,
Well, I wonder, Pennsylvania next, there's still talk of it. I don't think it's there at a critical mass. In 2025, would Josh Shapiro try to push that? It's got to be close when they look at what Jersey's doing. You got to think there is somewhat of an opportunity to see that.
I think it being legal alone is, what drives the sales because it opens up, it turns it into a similar to alcohol type situation. More people are willing to try it. They don't really care about the price point as much as not having to buy it from someone who's shady or on the corner or something like that. And, it makes sense to me that you're seeing such a boon in the economy on this. And to your point that you made initially is I remember you specifically saying, you know what, you'll probably see something like this because of the excitement of it being new, but will it fade off over years? I mean, it's only been 3 years and we're still seeing it grow, but I I don't think you're wrong when you say over time this is actually going to come back down. I don't think it's going to be a continually $1 billion, $2 billion industry.
And $1 billion taking in, but only $43 million in taxes. I'm not sure what they said originally, and I have to go back and see what Murphy said. Was he saying they'll take $1 billion a year in taxes ultimately? That would be pretty hard to believe. But it's creating jobs now. Atlantic City is an example of way too much. We talked about this last week. I think there's 10 or 12 stores in Atlantic City proper. I mean, come on. How in the world can you support that kind of thing?
Yeah, how do you support that? Like,
Yeah.
you look at, because I'm in Deptford now, and in Runnymede, Belmar, there's like 6 within almost 2 mile.
Wow.
I don't know how they can all stay in business, but they're all really pretty nice looking. Sorry, I turned back on the mic for a good reason, though, because I'm looking here. September, at that point, when that number came, it was 789 million was where they had back in September. This is the CRC most recent report. That was what generated that tax revenue of 43 million. So 43 million on 789 million.
So it's more. Yeah.
Yeah, so 75%, let's say it's probably, near 60?
Yeah. I'd have to say it's doing pretty well. Robert in Ben Salem. He's next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Dom. Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. I know it's been a while. Before I get into my side question, I have to correct that idiot journalist about 1867. That's when we bought Alaska for $7.2 million, which is about $129 million in today's money. And we pull more than that every day in oil out of that country or out of that state. So instead of calling it Seward's folly, they need to call it Seward's brilliance. And maybe the journalist in question should increase her education. But you know how much I hate the mainstream media, Dom. I go on about it all the time. And the person who embodies the evil of that institution right now is Taylor Lawrence. Her latest escapade was extolling the virtues of people who go around killing CEOs, okay?
Yes.
And it's people like her that ruin journalism in this country, and I'm hoping that it'll come back. But that is my answer, heartfelt. Taylor Lawrence is the worst person in the world.
That is a very good one because it's a little bit obscure, but shouldn't be, what she did in her prominence. She's all over the place. She's used by everybody. You're right.
Yeah, used by everybody, including the fake CEO of Enron. To have an
exactly. So you're doing quitting smoking in January.
I am not smoking anything from now on, Dom. I am completely free of it, and it's hard. It is hard. I'm not going to lie, but I'm looking at my health now. I want to see my grandkids grow up, and I'm starting to feel it. So that part of my life is done, and I'm looking forward to a good another 20 years. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, we want to get that, at least that out of you. So we'll hopefully see you over at the NAC on Inauguration Day and get a progress check.
I will be there, and I will keep you posted, Dom. Looking forward to it. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks very much. All right, coming up, Paula Scanlan. Remember her? She was at the Penn team, Leah Thomas. Well, the Congress, not just Trump in executive action, has a big bill. I bet the local Democrats are going to tell us they support women but vote against it, the Fairness in Sports Act, which is exactly where Republicans should be going. Paula talk about that, but she's also the day-to-day right now for Scott Presler in Jersey. How is that going? What are we seeing in New Jersey as we gear up? All I know is I'm doing an event with Scott down at the shore, God willing, not so much snow this Saturday. And I think they're going to need a bigger room from the number of people that are wanting to back him. More on that as it develops here on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by First Harvest Credit Union.
The Arctic air mass remains locked in across the region for the remainder of the week. It'll be partly sunny today, still windy, high around 32, but feeling much colder with the wind. A breezy night tonight, partly cloudy, low near 20 for the city, colder in the suburbs. Another windy day on Thursday, partly sunny with a high 32.
Open a First Harvest Credit Union growth savings account and earn as high as 3.25% annual percentage yield. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth savings or your nearest branch for details. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation, and Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Your Penn State Nittany Lions are in the Orange Bowl, and all the coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Welcome in. Paula Scanlan, we didn't know who she was. She was on the Penn swimming team, and then after the dust started to settle, she spoke out. And she's become a real champion out there for women. And now the New Jersey coordinator for early vote action for the Scott Presler group. And we're looking at the House now finally ready to act in a new world. Will Democrats vote with them? They didn't vote with them on Lake and Riley. We've been talking about it this morning. But if they learn the lesson of this election, you know, they might be able to flim-flam on bathrooms in school and all that stuff and even pronouns. But when it comes down to the idea of males competing against females in sports, it's at least 80%. And it's not just the number. It's the fact that people who might vote for a Democrat, like African-American males, they turn on this issue. It's a huge issue that the Congress, early on, I think, is going to attempt to pass, and I think they will. Let's go to New Jersey coordinator, early vote action now, Paula Scanlan. Paula, Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, Paula, we're seeing signs occasionally here. A lot of them, we add them up each day. But the Democrats en masse, I don't think have gotten the message, particularly on this bill that's going to move forward now in the Congress. What are you hearing, and what do you hope this bill will do?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm really hoping that this will protect women's sports. I mean, I think that's been our goal for so long here. It's just really sad to see so many Democrats, even after losing in the election, have continued to double down on this issue. I mean, I think the biggest thing I noticed is Jen Psaki, who, by the way, was also a Division I swimmer herself, got on air a couple days after the election and tried to defend men competing in women's sports. I mean, they're so out of touch, and it's just sad to see that it's still partisan to Democrats, this issue, when, again, I think it was a huge factor to why they lost the election.
Yeah, exactly. And Paula, one of the tactics, and one of these times that you were on with us, we talked about this, that they'll bring up right away is Republicans are going wild on something that only affects a minute number of people. And when you were on, there was a piece out there that took a look, as best we can tell, there's more, of how many young women did not win a race, get a medal, ultimately scholarships, etc., but even awards for their achievements because they were beaten out by males. It was astounding how much of it's already gone on.
Yes, and even the UN had this is maybe what you might be referencing, but like the UN had, even the UN had referenced, right? Over 1,000 girls had lost opportunities. Not even just in the upper levels in the Olympics. It's high school level, college level, even elementary school girls. I mean, there was a story in West Virginia of these elementary school girls protesting against competing against a male athlete. These girls were in 5th grade. What is going on in this country that we expect 5th graders to have to protest for their own fairness in their own sports? And so it has just been just so wild to me, again, how many people just say it's a non-issue. And even if it is a non-issue, one athlete is too many. If one girl loses her opportunities or loses access to fair competition because of this, we have failed. And so I don't want to hear anything about this is a non-issue, this is only happening a couple of times. It's just so maddening that that's their argument.
Yeah, well, when you don't have too many other arguments, that's the argument that you go with. Now, the woman, I'm going to play her a little bit later in the show so that you know, Paula, this woman who's the congresswoman from Delaware, McBride, anytime that comes up, she says we should instead be focused on bringing down cost. She's a progressive, and they're the ones that drove up costs, so just stop doing what you're doing. But this is the type of argument that still goes on. And I think this is going to be a real showdown because America just voted on this and said enough of it. Stop doing this.
I think that, again, and I think that that's the congresswoman you referenced is actually a man from Delaware. Is that
yes, yeah, McBride.
Who we're talking
yes.
about? Yes. And again, they're talking about cost. Where were you guys for 4 years under Biden when everyone was complaining about the cost of groceries? In fact, I know women who traditionally voted Democrat that changed their vote in this election because they're the ones going to the store, seeing the prices of things and saying, I cannot afford this, I am done, and voting for Trump this time around. So it's so interesting that they're trying to flip the narrative and say, oh, we need to focus on affordability and cost of things. When you had 4 years to address those problems, they had all this talk about Bidenomics and saying the economy is doing great under Biden. And now they're saying, oh, we actually have adjustments to make.
Yeah, here, Paula, for you. Here is Representative McBride, the first openly transgendered person, apparently, from Delaware.
Well, this is typical bluster from the president-elect. This obsession with Greenland and Panama really came out of nowhere and has been filled with mistruths and misunderstandings. I don't understand why this president is so committed at a time of global instability, of fostering more instability globally, of undermining our allies, and at the same time, diverting the attention of our federal government toward issues like invading Greenland or Panama, while we should be focused on bringing down costs facing workers, retirees, and families here in this country.
That's her mission. And lady, your policies, are the reason why we are where we are. Yet she continuously repeats this, and that's what they'll do. Why are we talking about this? Well, let's just fix it. Just stop doing it. We'll stop talking about it. So, Paula, now you've gotten your feet wet a little bit more with the early action here, the Scott Presler group, that you're the day-to-day NJ coordinator. What can you tell us? What are you seeing in Jersey?
I mean, the biggest issue, and relating to the same thing that New Jersey voters are talking about, is affordability and the cost of things. And again, we haven't seen any of the Democrats who are really running in the primary on the governor's side really give any plans or address these issues that people are having. I mean, I've already heard from renters that are upset with the way even the landlords don't appreciate the way that they're being taxed and the cost it costs them to even have renters. And homeowners, people can't buy homes. I mean, I have family friends that live in New Jersey, and they're saying they're very working professionals. Many of them are doctors, and they still cannot afford down payments on a home. Just cost is high in this country. And again, the Democrats in New Jersey have not shown any desire to really address these problems and give any tangible solutions.
No, and two of them, by the way, Paula, that are the principal gubernatorial candidates that are camouflaging as moderate, Gottheimer and Sherrill, they both failed to show up and vote yesterday on the Laken-Riley Act. They knew they couldn't vote against it, and they knew they couldn't vote for it, apparently, in Jersey.
I saw that. And again, that is honestly disgusting to me. I'm deeply disturbed by a lot of these people who are representing large numbers of people going in and either not voting or voting the other way. I mean, it is just, I can't even imagine. It's just heartbreaking to see what's going on to women in this country, not just in the sports issue, but again, with the southern border. And I think also women voted on that issue too, because the Laken-Riley story hit home to a lot of women. I mean, it hit home to me. And I know what it's like to go on runs. I actually trained for a marathon myself, and I know the dangers of running. I had multiple times when I thought, man, I don't want to run outside because all these migrants are running around New York City. And again, it is just heartbreaking that they're doing that, and they need to be held accountable. And we will continue to call them out for how they're acting, and again, not standing to protect women and protect people in this country.
Where do we go for early vote action, particularly as we gear up for Jersey, Paula?
Absolutely. Check out earlyvoteaction.com. There'll be resources there if you want to come volunteer with us, if you want to keep tabs on what we're doing. Also follow our Twitter page, X rather, the rebrand name. There's also an app. You can help in other states. If you want to help in New Jersey, there's opportunities later on to do letter writing. There's always ways to get involved. And also, if you feel inclined, you can give us a small little donation. It'll go towards hiring staff to help flip not just New Jersey, but also keep Pennsylvania red and expand into other states in the future.
We're in good hands. So glad you're part of this campaign, Paula. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Paula Scanlan here on Talk Radio 1210. The two that I mentioned, Gottheimer, that's the guy who the Inquirer even says lied about what he listened to on Spotify, the end of the year figures. Sherrill has a military background of sorts and is another person claiming to be moderate. They both intentionally did not show up yesterday to vote on the Laken-Riley Act. The reason they didn't, they want to vote against it, but they're taking a temperature and realizing, are you kidding me? So I'll offer this one more time. I led off the show. Fetterman saying, you have to vote for the Laken-Riley. Are you kidding me? Even Democrats. Yet, we had the three women in the suburbs lecture us, one of them at least, about the Constitution. She's out there in Chester County. 855-839-1210. And Dan, for Dan time today, people have a double header. They'll want to make sure they get to YouTube, right?
Yep, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Gonna spend some time in the world of pop culture.
Hulk Hogan booed viciously. Why? And Meghan Markle not booed. Well, she was on Netflix. We can't boo her. Meghan Markle, I'll put her down, worst person in the world. Really gets to me. Not in the sense of a dictator. Remember, it's tongue-in-cheek, but she's bad. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Hi, I'm Mike Venaria Jr. with Prosperity Private Wealth. No matter your occupation, whether you work for a big company or you're a small business owner, everyone wants to keep as much of their earnings as possible. I specialize in tax minimization strategies and retirement planning that'll help you build a strong financial future for you and your future generations. Call me, Mike Venaria Jr. at 856-252-0107.
Securities through Sanctuary Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, advisory services through Sanctuary Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
It's time to get focused on improving the lives of our beloved pets by feeding them the most nutritious pet food on the planet. With 2 decades of experience, the Dogs and Cats Rules stores can guide you in the right direction to meet your pet's needs. Fads come and go, but there's no substitute for premium meat inclusive food for your pets. If you changed your pet's food lately and they're starting to look like a shaggy dog, smelly ears and biting their feet all the time, you need to come into one of our 7 very convenient locations or visit dogsandcatsrule.pet.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, get 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 years. Sale ends January 31st, so schedule your consult now at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com. Tell them you heard it on WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Your Penn State Nittany Lions are in the Orange Bowl, and all the coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time.
I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says.
With
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some damn time with Dom. And Dom, I'm going to start with a little close to heart. Earlier this week, Monday night, was the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, moving off of standard broadcast television now on a streaming service. Really, really big event with some great legends. The Rock showed up. Beforehand, this actually went viral, a clip of none other than Hulk Hogan. Take a watch.
Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Greatest tag team partners of all times. I've been with the big ones. Tagged up with Andre. Had the tag title for myself.
So if you happen to take the advice of Dom Giordano and tune into youtube.com/@1210WPHT, you could see before the event there, he had that viral video. And in the video, he's wearing MAGA Powers, Trump for... So it's a Trump supporting shirt. So then later in the night, Hulk comes out to... surprise the crowd. There's a huge pop for The Rock, a huge pop for Triple H. How did they respond to the legend himself? Take a watch. A lot of booing there, Dom.
Well, is it about the Trump thing? Because I thought the wrestling fans that show up at events like this might be vaguely pro-Trump.
It's shocking, actually, because you would think so, too. But being in L.A., in California,
right?
I think a lot of people did travel to come to this event, and I would assume that diehard wrestling fans, in general, are more conservative-leaning. But clearly not the case in the crowd on Monday night, Dom. And one has to wonder, is it because of Hogan's, entrance and public, persona when it comes to politics that's recently developed?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it because Hulk himself, within the wrestling
toxic,
community,
right.
Yeah, he's very controversial, and he's constantly shoved down the throats of fans, so are they just sick of it? Could be that as well, maybe not political. But someone being shoved down the throats of fans, well, not fans, because she doesn't have any, but another Netflix series coming up that was advertised oft during that Raw special, Dom. Oh, man, this is tough. I need your thoughts on this. Take a watch.
Let's make a show.
Let's go. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it, surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar, that's the voice of Meghan Markle, Dom.
My worst person in the world, insufferable. Yeah,
really?
Oh, my God. She just... And it's the husband, too, enabling it, going along with it. You just cannot detest her enough.
I did some research on this. So this is Meghan Markle's upcoming Netflix series where she'll be the next Julia Child, apparently.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, whatever it is, where she's giving gardening and home tips, cooking tips to... Who wants tips from Meghan Markle? She's a royal. Does she even cook for herself? It seems so out of touch.
Landscaping, too. Her landscapers.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have a... Oh, now in the preview, Dom, if you're on youtube.com, she was just beekeeping, something.
Yeah, and Julia Childs was a character and a great chef and really defined the genre. And this woman glomming on again.
So I got a question: who was responsible for the production of such a out-of-touch thing? And it turns out that this is part of that Netflix deal that they signed with the Prince and the royals and such, and this is coming from the Prince and Meghan themselves to try to rehash that image. But, man, it's so out of touch. No one's going to watch this crap. Actually, I might hate watch it, so we have clips here on Dan Time with Dom moving
fans
forward.
Will be all over it.
Yeah, I don't think they care about Meghan Markle, do they?
No, I'm a fan of the show. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I forget what Meghan Markle was up to. There was something consequential with the royal family. Maybe it was that, but just...
Well, the whole, bouncing out of the royals and trash talking them, and it's not like I'm pro royals by any means, but it seems like endless drama that I could give a crap less about that's just constantly shoved in my face.
Well, I think
now they're doing a Netflix special.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
And Trump is concerned we provide their security, so you might hear more on that front while they're in the United States. That would be a twosome that should leave the country.
I'm getting yelled at. Don't insult Julia Child by comparing her to Meghan Markle.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah. I didn't think you were. All right, so 8-5.
You do that voice?
Yeah.
Oh, a little French cooking for you.
A very real character, real cooking, all that. All right, so 855-839-1210. Hit us on the side. Which is this worst person in the world? Today is the birthday of Kim Jong-un. Tomorrow is Richard Nixon's birthday. Now, we have some angles, so I'd be interested on Twitter. You can hit me. Might be a good side question involving Nixon, who arguably was the most intellectual of anybody that was ever in the Oval Office. And I give him credit. You talk about election cheating. Kennedy's just said, we're just going to steal it. What are you going to do about it? And we got Lyndon Johnson stealing Texas. And what was Nixon going to do? He took one for the team. He didn't go to the courts. Okay, Dom's Money Melody coming up and the side question. And by the way, Elon Musk jumping into the LA fires, retweeting libs of TikTok, showing the just minute detail of racial equity of the fire department versus, fighting fires. Is it safe to say that Newsom, Bass, the fire department there, they share some responsibility in what's happening in a tough situation? They're not ready. There's not enough water infrastructure. They're not really about fighting fires. They're about the usual nonsense. And they're facing something apocalyptic, and they're going to have a lot of trouble handling it. 855-839-1210.
When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes to storage solutions. And we get the job done fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. So trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. And let's cook up something extraordinary.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
A raging fire destroys a historic church in Norristown. Church leaders say they'll rebuild. Kids in Philadelphia will no longer face charges for first-time low-level offenses. And Whole Foods workers at the Spring Garden store have been trying to unionize, and they say the company is being harder on them because of it.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. You know, when you're making your New Year's resolutions, be sure to think about your car and your wallet, and then head on over to United Tire and Service. Taking care of your car and saving money is a resolution you can actually keep thanks to United Tire. From new tires to full inspections, oil changes, and more, United Tire and Service will keep your car in shape without breaking the bank. Stop by your locally owned United Tire and Service or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Join us Monday, January 20th, starting at 6 a.m. with Kale and Company at the Newtown Athletic Club for the inauguration of Donald J. Trump. Don Stensland will be there live from 10 a.m. to noon, and Dom Giordano from 12 to 3 p.m. The Newtown Athletic Club is one of the top lifestyle clubs and health and wellness centers globally. Visit newtownathletic.com. You can't be at the inauguration, but you can be with fellow Patriots. Monday, January 20th, starting at 6 a.m. at the Newtown Athletic Club. Live on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, thanks to Dan. I just got during that break a very belated Christmas present. I've never used a tea strainer, but the tea that he got me is a rare blend, apparently. It's not good enough that I have good old-fashioned Bigelow pomegranate. By the way, and when I was in Israel, pomegranates there, they love drinking pomegranate juice. They take an old big pomegranate and they squash it right there and give it to you. Yes, Stan. Thank you. I will be straining that tea tonight.
Fresh pomegranates in there, Dom.
Yeah, fresh pomegranates.
Yeah.
It seems invigorating. I was just sniffing it during the break.
Well, you can be, honest about the gift. That was why I gave it to you, was for the show fodder. Is that something you actually might try?
Sure,
or is it just going to sit in a pail somewhere?
No, I'm a tea connoisseur. I've never used a tea strainer, though. It
No?
seems kind of too delicate.
Is it a little too feminine? I gave you one with little bumblebee on it.
Yeah, let's.
I gotta see this.
It is kind of effeminate. At least we could get a manly tea strainer. Look at this, Henry. Here,
mine's pretty manly. It's just a straight rod, but that was the most manly one I could find for you.
Oh, and it looks like you could put it on your pocket or something. It's got a little design. You carry it with you.
It's like a keychain.
Excuse me while I step aside and have my tea strained here.
YouTube.com/@12WPHT.
There you go. I'll hold it up here for a while.
You can stick your keys in your tea,
Yeah, where would you buy one of these tea infusers?
At a tea store. I don't know. They have this. I told you earlier, though, I was walking in Haddonfield the other day, and I passed that dispensary, and it's because they have one of those tea shops next door. Yeah.
Well, it's like when I got the catnip as a gift for Freddie here, and it was a little too close to the evil.
So actually, on that, one of the teas that I got for myself is a sleepy time tea.
Right.
And I didn't realize that there's actually catnip in some teas. So I'm drinking catnip at night now.
Oh, so you think
not in that one? I don't think there's catnip in that one.
Well, thank you though.
Yeah.
No, I am going to try it. We'll have fun with this, and it will be great show fodder.
Listen to Ro too. Yes.
Ro has a whole section of gifts that she gives me that are show fodder gifts.
And a couple of weeks ago, we did one of those things that something completely unnecessary that you when you enter into someone's house, you know they have money, and that was that loose leaf tea was my answer, as like a joke.
That was a very
So there you go.
Well, thank you.
Give it a whirl.
I will tonight. Full report tomorrow.
Well, I forgot to tell you, I did my best Larry Ferrari impression for today's Money Melody, so stay tuned for that.
All right. I love Larry Ferrari, and Dan still can't believe he'd come on. What was it, 9:30?
Well, that's the thing. If the guy would stay on all day, he had to make a hell of a lot of money just playing an organ for hours. I mean, I'm trying now to
Channel
learn
6, too.
I'm learning the keyboard so I can be the new Larry Ferrari. Sell that to public broadcasting, maybe make some money playing the organ for hours on a Sunday. Why not?
It's hard to believe Stephanopoulos or Larry Ferrari. I think we'd a better country if we had Larry Ferrari. All right, 855-839-1210. So I'm watching what's going on in L.A., and it's horrific. But it's also, we're being told, and now's the time to talk about it. You better be accurate, though. Is some of this not just Mother Nature, but that you have people that are unprepared, the water infrastructure, they didn't spend enough, they didn't put it into place. They cut $18 million from the actual firefighting. And we played you that video where they're talking about DEI and all these other things more than fighting fires. Devastation is enormous. And this is California. You get the type of winds we're talking about. Thank God they don't come every year. This is Malibu I'm looking at, which is really one of the most famous lines that I remember, Dan, in all these years of talk radio. Election of 2004, I get Cher on pitching Democrats. She's talking about income inequality. And Cher, I go, where are you calling us from? My Malibu estate. There you go, right there. I almost just didn't continue. Do I need to say more?
The word estate in itself.
She said estate, and she was being nice. She didn't think she said any. My Malibu estate. Right there on the water. That's prime territory. So here's a guy. Now, this guy, I don't think I've ever had him on. He's annoying. And Morning Joe showed that there's a different world that we're living in. They had on Scott Galloway. Galloway's a darling of MSNBC, CNN. He's a big-time professor at NYU and an investor, apparently. And he's talking here about the fact that income equality, people are going to revolt over this. That's why the healthcare executive was killed. The country is going to hell, and they put Trump in there because people are crazed over income inequality. Is that what people really think about? Income inequality? Or is the average American thinking, how do I make more of my own life? Are they thinking, no, I don't think, I'm sorry, Dan. So here's Galloway making that point, and in the middle of it, he refers to Trump as a rapist. Listen to what Mika says after that.
But these individuals have weaponized government, and we risk revolution, whether it's CEOs being murdered in the street, whether it's a Me Too movement that had righteous components of it, or Black Lives Matter. What are these movements? They are targeting the wealthy. We are in the midst of a series of small revolutions to correct income inequality. And the reason we put an insurrectionist and a rapist in office is because for the first time in our nation's history, a 30-year-old man or woman isn't doing as well as his or her parents were at 30. Why? Because the majority of households are having the oxygen sucked out of the room, such that a small number of individuals and a small number of companies can be worth more than nation states. Income inequality is out of control. Our tax policy has gone full oligarch.
I want to make a comment, though, just about a word that was used in this interview. Donald Trump was tried civilly and was found liable of sexual abuse, not rape. But the judge in the case likened his actions to rape, but the liability was officially called sexual abuse.
Now, I would prefer in the free flow of information, rather than leading a legal notice, that Mika stops the guy there and says, hey, it's not rape, just to be accurate. Do it there. Don't do this pro forma thing afterward. But what about what Galloway is saying? Is that what did it to people? Income inequality? Or do we know what did it? Diminish the middle class? Biden and the historians around him and these other people egging him on, and the wild spending that he did that baked in inflation. That's what's harming the average American. 855-839-1210. This guy just can't give it up, though. This is the Democrat argument always, even though which party is the party of the working class now? You know, I don't even like using that because we all work. So, you know, I don't even know the definition of working class anymore. Dan, do you consider yourself working class?
Yeah.
You do? Why?
Because I'm working.
Because you're working?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, Henry, are you working class or no?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to show up here every day or I'm screwed.
That's the
I don't know if I
definition.
consider myself blue collar. I'm more like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
not
nor am I
blue-collar.
white collar.
Right.
But, you know,
So-
working class, definitely.
Okay, yeah. Rather than saying working class, if they want to say blue collar, say blue collar. You know what I mean? If you want to say actual physical labor, et cetera, say that.
Yeah.
I said working class because that's what everybody uses. But who won those voters this time? Trump did. Why did Democrats not win them? Well, Galloway is saying essentially, I don't even know what he's saying. He's saying income inequality, and that's why they went with Trump. Well, who's the party that has the money, though? Yeah, Elon Musk is on the Republican side. But there's such a great number of alleged elites that are liberals, progressives, up and down the line. So which party really is that? Trump has kind of changed that, at least in the minds of people. Are they stupid that they bought this? Or is it that Republicans can actually build on this? They got a great opportunity. I'm not counting on Republicans, though, not to screw this up, that they finally have people identifying with them, not Democrats, when it comes to who's better to give opportunity to open up the playing field for your life. They voted Republicans. Trump was this time around, not Democrats. All right, 855-839-1210. This guy Galloway, though, I didn't see what he said when she tweaked him on it. Are they afraid of being sued? Is this Stephanopoulos? Yeah. But also, I think they're afraid of just doing what they did before the election, calling Trump a rapist. How is he an insurrectionist? To be an insurrectionist, I wish he had corrected that. You'd have to be charged with insurrection. Trump has not been charged with anything like that. When Jack Smith even had his case, he didn't charge him with insurrection. Stop throwing around insurrection. Now, if you wanted to say January 6th, as I say, was a riot, absolutely it was a riot. But insurrection, nobody's even charged anybody with that. All right, let's go to Alan in Hamilton. Alan's next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Alan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I wanted to submit the name of Larry Krasner.
All right, so you don't think Krasner is lying low and improving here, huh?
I think that's what's holding the city back is the fact that police can't do their jobs right because Krasner lets them off.
Absolutely. Well, true. And again, he is one of the most insufferable public figures we've ever seen anywhere under any circumstance. And so is Kevin Bacon, who's insulated from the destruction that we have here, lionizing him. Someone asked me today, a real insider, I mean, really inside, Dan, you know who I'm talking about, right? Where I was today.
Yeah.
And did I think, saw me as sort of an expert on Larry Krasner, did I think that Larry Krasner could be defeated this upcoming time? I said, well, you know how incredibly biased I am, but I have to say yes. It all depends on if he has one major opponent and the others stay out of the race. If he has two or three, they split the vote, gone after him, then that's not going to work. So that's unknowable at this point. But on paper, is there a shot at stopping Larry Krasner? Yes. I think this is going to be a real race. The last time around, it was just a pipe dream to try to take a shot at it. Yeah, let's get Pat Dugan on. Yeah. He's a judge that just recently resigned from court to run for DA. His name came up in this, Dan, and we hear he has the backing of the building trades. Now, if that's the case, that's pretty good. I'll be blunt about it, though. He's white male. The other two major candidates are black males. Which one do I think on paper has a better shot? A black male. But can it be done? Yes. I hear this guy has substantial backing to do it. We'll invite them on once we have more announcements, a lot more of that going on. This is very doable. Again, the black clergy of Philadelphia are the enablers, though. They form the guard around Krasner. Tell us how well he's doing for black communities. Okay, 855-839-1210. All right, this is a very special Dom's Money Melody.
Yes, so let me get the music going. Dom's
Money Melody.
Money gone.
Yeah, Dom, big prize this week.
Yeah, pair of tickets to the Phillies Auto Show, Pennsylvania Convention Center, January 11th to the 20th. For tickets and more information, visit phillyautoshow.com.
If you are the arbiter of those tickets, check your messages because, I would love to go to that. Just saying, but Dom, so today we're talking about Larry Ferrari, a couple years back.
Yes.
Won the hearts of Philadelphia.
Oh, my God. Superstar.
And when I hear of the love that Larry Ferrari draws here on the Dom Giordano program, all I see are money symbols, Dom. Money signs. Because this guy would just sit there every Sunday for hours at a time playing his electric organ, and people would tune in, leave it on in the background, somehow made a career out of it. So, why not learn the piano and try to follow in the great footsteps of Larry Ferrari? So, Dom, I thought I'd provide the audience with a status update on that. A couple months in now, I played a song that I really enjoy. This is on electric piano rather than electric organ. Oh, my God,
I didn't know this. This is outrageous.
Yeah, so this is me playing the song, Dom, and I want to know from the listeners whether they could tell us the name of the song. So we want to know the name of the song. Very famous song I'm playing here. Take a listen.
Not the worst cover we've ever had.
See? Not bad.
What kind of show brings back Larry Ferrari in the body of Dan? That's pretty good. All right, 855-839-1210.
Looking for the name of the song. Sorry.
Name of the song, and we will send you off to the Philadelphia Auto Show, 855-839-1210.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Healthwatch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. When you apply to University of Maryland Global Campus by February 12th, you'll pay no application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience. Or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Your Penn State Nittany Lions are in the Orange Bowl, and all the coverage starts tomorrow night at 7 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That's right. Every day around 2:13, 2:14, and today particularly, Dan on the keyboard, so to speak, resurrecting the great Larry Ferrari.
You think there's still an audience for Larry Ferrari, or is that time passed on?
I think it's fast.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it...
Cover some rap songs on the electric organ? You think I could do it?
Maybe. Was the Al Albert showcase, too, was on after him? I mean, it was nuts. And that's Channel 6, the biggie.
That was on Channel 6?
Yes.
I thought it was like public access television.
No. I'm 90% certain
Wow.
Larry Ferrari or more was on Channel 6. And the Al Alberts, I think it was, too.
All right, so here's my impression, my version, my try at Larry Ferrari playing a more contemporary song. We want to know the name of the song. Dom, take a listen.
All right, this is going to take a lot.
You think so?
Well,
it's a recognizable song, but
it is.
The title's kind of hard to remember.
Exactly. Justin in Philly. Justin, what's the title of the song?
Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis.
Very nice. Now, Justin, you sound too young to remember Larry Ferrari. You ever hear of him?
I remember my grandparents used to watch him.
And it was Channel 6, right?
Channel 6, yep.
Justin, you think there's still a thirst for Larry Ferrari electric organ on Sunday mornings?
I don't know. He had a great head of hair, though.
Oh, God, he did, yes.
Is that real? Do you think the hair was real?
Oh, definitely.
That bowl cut?
It's debatable.
I can tell when it's not. I'm the expert in telling when it's not real. Okay. I'll put you on hold, Justin.
Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. Congratulations, Justin. Enjoy the auto show.
You are going to the auto show. We'll have more of that coming up the rest of this week. 855-839-1210. Joe Biden briefed on fast-spreading fires. He's in Santa Monica for some reason with Gavin Newsom. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's hard to believe this is going on. All right, so how much fault is there with the typical progressive look? You have the mayor who was in Ghana told on Sunday night, early Monday morning to come back. She wouldn't. She delayed until I think it was late last night. You have lack of water infrastructure. You have money misspent on the usual nonsense versus on being ready to take on, when California gets stuff like this, it is often apocalyptic, and this is. Would people say, Dan, you mentioned to me, I think you mentioned the billionaire who ran against Karen Bass. Here's what he said about Mayor Bass's work.
My heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of tough questions that we need to ask the mayor and the city council and our representatives and the county representatives. Why didn't you work to mitigate this? What was your brush mitigation program? I heard you earlier talking about it's been dry because there hasn't been rain. That's not the biggest problem here. The brush up in these hills that are controlled by the city and the county, I would bet you that if they haven't been handled, mitigated, pruned, removed for probably 30 or 40 years. This was a disaster waiting to happen. And what's predictable is preventable. And who's paying the price are all of these people in their homes and their businesses tonight. Now, we'll rebuild, but the majority of this community is going to have a tough time rebuilding their lives.
All right, that's Rick Caruso. As I remember, he's the billionaire that ran against her. So some of the lessons from this, often with this progressive world, and Karen Bass was almost chosen as VP by Joe Biden. She was in a running. Why? She was a leading African-American female, and that's what you had to have. Okay. It often, we joke about it. I'm trying to think of the most recent today, that progressivism is silly. Silliness associated with this. True. But then there is the deadly consequence of what this does. All the fooling around, all the nonsense, rather than taking care of business, taking care of basics. And yet, people continue to vote for it. So if they continue to vote for it, and you see this evidence, what are you going to do? And they did vote for Karen Bass. It was a fairly close race. This guy spent a lot of money. But in cities like Los Angeles, people want to go with this. Okay, well, then we're not going to be stopped when this is happening. I know it's hard because people are suffering during this, but this is when we're paying attention to analyze, is he right? And yes, I think he is. She stayed in Ghana. We played you the fire commissioner, just unbelievably concerned about DEI and all these seminars. The water is not there. The infrastructure is not there. They cut the firefighters' budget by $18 million, and yet they're spending on everything else that's nonsensical. This is the way they think. This is what they do. Maybe not a liberal, but progressives. Liberals only do it a little bit, maybe, is a better way of looking at it. And what we're seeing here is a disaster made more of a disaster because of the people that are in charge. I mean, you got 100-mile-an-hour winds, and you have the wildfires. That is not easy. There is no doubt that's not an easy thing. But they are not fighting this in any effective way. And with Biden there, God knows what he'll try to do. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210. Hit us with somebody who is the world's worst person. Here's a good one, because remember, it's the softer side of Sears. It's not the most brutal dictator. Richard in Westchester's got an all-timer. This woman spoke on it. I don't know if we have the sound. We used to play that a lot. Hey, Richard, good afternoon. What do you have today?
Greetings. One thing about the California situation, the Pacific Palisades and is near Brentwood and Bel Air and all the high-class neighborhoods. Now, are these people, after they had their houses burned down, are they going to reassess their political choices in the future, or are they just going to do the same thing and blame it on global warming and I'd call it a day?
You know what? I'd say a lot of them are going to do the same thing. Some of them slowly but surely see this, Richard, and we are seeing this after the Trump victory. We are seeing some degree of epiphanies. It's a slow-moving thing, though. I mean, even with obvious stuff like, how does the mayor not instantly come back when this happens? I mean, it doesn't get more unforgivable than that.
And one other thing, I'm rooting for Robert from Ben Salem so he can quit smoking and breathe better walking up those steps.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're going to commemorate that when we're at the NAC together on the 20th. All right, who's your person that it's the worst person in the world?
When they were having the looting at the Wawa in downtown, there, as in the background, you see the place is like a crazy house, and she once says, "Where's my sandwich?" I'm walking out.
Yeah,
It's hard to hear.
Are you going to get on that sandwich? That's what she said to the guy. The guy was filming it, I think, at the Wawa. I think it was Northeast Philly.
You want her in your foxhole? I don't.
Oh
think so.
man, that's a pretty good one. That's a few years back to the George Floyd summer. That is an all-timer. Brendan, Westchester, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Brendan, afternoon.
Good name. Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I was calling in about your former subject that you were talking about with the interview that Mika Brzezinski was doing.
Yes.
Did you see the net worth of that man that she was interviewing?
Galloway? I know it's a lot.
Yeah. It's like $34 million. And he's sitting there he's talking about income inequality. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is the thing. These are the people that talk about it. So then we go through this all the time. How much can you be worth before you can't talk about income inequality? I'd say if you have $34 million, shut up. We never want to hear from you again. God bless, you made it. Don't lecture me about income inequality.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I
I knew he was fairly well off, but I know $34 million. Yeah. My God. Well, Mika and Joe, we said the other day, they're worth at least $20 million together. How can you talk about this then?
I don't understand it.
Great point. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you very much. $34 million. Scott Galloway.
Can I play an old clip of Scott Galloway?
Yeah,
I want your take on his very controversial take here. Take a listen.
I don't make decisions around clothes. I have a uniform. Someone else does my laundry, lays out my clothes for the week. I don't order food. When I'm at a restaurant, I either have the waiter order or I have whoever I'm eating with, including my 13 and 16-year-old sons, I have them order for me.
And this guy, this maniac, is so much in demand, Dan, particularly on CNN. I've seen him on a show a lot, and Mika and Joe, he's at NYU. I didn't know he was worth $34 million, and yet he's lecturing. The Kennedys are doing this. The Kennedys run all the time on stuff like this.
I try to outsource as many decisions as possible such that I can focus on the few decisions that I'm good at and really slow down my reptile brain and try and make really great decisions around the decisions that I have some domain expertise or that are what I call important.
God, insufferable, this guy. Throw him into the hat for worst person in the world.
Just admit that he's
Imagine, hey, Dan, order my dinner there. All right, here's what you're going to have. You're going to have some meat for once in your life. Yeah.
My alarms for the reptilian conspiracy theory, Dom, they are, they're blaring right now.
Yeah, so Mika had to tell him, no, Trump is not a convicted rapist. It must have killed her, but it's a new world.
You ever let the waitress order for you?
No. What am I doing? My God, can you
Luke,
imagine?
DJ, what am I eating for dinner tonight?
No. Nor Roe, nor anybody, no.
And are you allowed to push back if you don't like what they choose? Like, say you're not a fan of salmon, but they choose salmon. It could be like, I don't want salmon.
Yeah, exactly. My God, he doesn't want to make that decision. It would waste too much brain power about what he's going to wear today. Oh, these are some of the fun things in life. I like to figure out, what am I today? I had to decide, big business meeting today, wear a tie or not wear a tie.
Oh, is that why you look so nice?
Yeah, I was glad I didn't wear
People
a tie.
on YouTube are commenting about how great you look today.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't even have the...
A couple of the females YouTubers as well.
It's that blue suit.
Is that what it is?
The one that Matt O'Donnell and others always touch the fabric of. It's one of a kind. Imported from Hong Kong. Right before the Chinese took over.
I suggested that you actually were just coming off your new gig as the maitre d' for the upcoming season of Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
No, this was a big thing. We're celebrating here. More on that when it comes up soon. All right. Get on board at 855-839-1210. Can hardly wait to get home. Have a cup of tea, strained. A tea infuser. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Rose listening heard that. So, yeah. She's thrilled with that. Big story today, though, to me. And it's a big story because it all comes home. And I still haven't gotten the answer. What the heck happened to the suburbs? Did zombies take over? You know about the Lake and Riley bill. We played you John Fetterman, and he's right on this, saying if we can't get 7 Democrats to move this in the Senate so that we debate it, then talk about it, that's why we lost the election. Brendan Boyle, who wants to be the Speaker of the House from Northeast Philadelphia. He changed his vote. He voted for the Lake and Riley bill. Yet, Houlihan, the Dean of Decency, and her buddy Mary Gay Scanlon, they all voted against it. They voted not to protect us, particularly women and children, against these migrants, these illegal immigrants here who are criminals. They just voted against it. Is that what people in the suburbs are about? Do they feel that insulated? It's not going to happen to them. Do they sneer at Lake and Riley and her family, a woman who would be alive if we kept these monsters in jail before we deported them? Yet they voted to say no. And Houlihan said, well, what about their constitutional rights? What about the constitutional rights, madam, of Lake and Riley? What about her rights?
Debbie Dingle explained why she voted against it. You want to hear?
Oh.
I got to read it. It's a statement.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Today I voted against the Lake and Riley Act, which is a misleading messaging bill. Under this bill, someone can make a false accusation for retaliatory reasons that could destroy a person's life. It is written in such a way that could lead to the detention of people who had no intention of harming anyone without ever being convicted of a crime. I share concerns about people who commit crimes, but this bill does not include constitutional due process protections. The immigration system has been broken for too long and it needs to be fixed. No one believes the system we have right now is working, but the bill does not secure our border or enact serious immigration reform. Instead, it exploits the murder of a 22-year-old student for political messaging. I voted against this bill because I don't want anyone, especially young DACA recipients, to unjustly suffer consequences that last a lifetime, and because we already have laws that ensure people who commit serious crimes can be deported. Everyone has a right to due process.
Okay, the due process is this. These creeps that were into the country illegally committed crime. They were let go rather than being held, and they knew they were here illegally, Madam Dingle. She would be alive today. Thank God for that young woman, too, fighting these people off, hit her in the head with a brick and everything else. She fought them viciously as they attempted to rape her. And we have to be lectured by this woman from horse country, Houlihan, about constitutional rights? The people in the suburbs really buy this stuff? Are you that insulated from reality? Until it bites you. This election said, stop them, deport them, let's go, let's get moving on this. And what do we get? We get lectures on constitutional rights of people who are here illegally, have already committed crimes, maybe multiple crimes, and then do the worst. Protect Americans. 855-839-1210, you get a line. Bottom line is the insanity of voters. Are they buying the constitutional argument? Now, where their dingle is, that's a lifetime appointment office. Is it like that in Montgomery County now? The Madeline Dean, she doesn't care what she votes on. She just follows her own pleasure. But how about out in Chester County? We heard from Neil Young, who ran against Houlihan the last time, and he told us, well, yeah, the Chester County board there, all they wanted to know is, you're going to be tougher on the people that are here illegally. We need them for the mushrooms. Isn't that what it is in Chester County? You want those people to be here illegally. You don't care. And if they attack us and kill us and engage in this stuff, Well, we got some mushrooms to pick. Isn't that what it comes down to? You can call in. We're not going to chase you. You can call in anytime and tell us, no, that's not it. Come on. 855-839-1210.
The Arctic air mass remains locked in across the region for the remainder of the week. It'll be partly sunny today, still windy, high around 32, but feeling much colder with the wind. A breezy night tonight, partly cloudy, low near 20 for the city, colder in the suburbs. Another windy day on Thursday, partly sunny with a high 32.
The most important part of your financial future is the firm you choose. You see, all financial firms are not the same. Traditional firms that sell securities can't guarantee income and are vulnerable to bankruptcies, market losses, capital gains taxes, and ongoing fees. But the exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to protect over 5,000 clients from market losses and bankruptcies and provides guaranteed tax-favored income with the potential for double-digit interest returns with no fees whatsoever. Our one-of-a-kind proprietary system continues to protect billions of dollars in assets. Are you in or near retirement? There's only one crash-proof retirement for the American retiree. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 12th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in in-demand fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills and credentials you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, get 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 years. Sale ends January 31st, so schedule your consult now at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com. Tell them you heard it on WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you. Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Promise that you hold me close, don't let me go.
All right, Dom Giordano show. I defer to Dan, maybe Henry on this, but I'm looking at a Wall Street Journal story saying, how in the world does Elon Musk do this? It takes a lot. He just declared himself to be one of the world's best players, providing evidence, too, of Diablo IV, Diablo 4.
Yeah, how do you have time for that, Elon? I don't get it. I am genuinely convinced that he's AI or a robot.
Yeah, he made his way to the top level in 45 days or fewer. All right, so
45.
Apparently, yeah, it's very involved. Did a 2-minute thing at one of the highest scores ever.
So let me propose this. If you're a guy like Elon Musk, do you think Elon has a paid PR department that makes him appeal to younger males?
Yeah, sure.
You think he does?
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely curious. Do you think there's any chance that this PR department found some kind of professional somewhere and had him play under Elon's name to give the appearance that Elon is some kind of mastermind at video games to further his reputation with young men?
Yeah. As you know, I'm not like the rest of the world. I acknowledge his abilities, but I'm not like... Something about it is not gaga with me. I'm not.
And I mean, as much as that sounds cool, like 30 days to master a video game, I don't know if you're going to be competing with the world record holders and such after 30. It seems very
because they're probably on the spectrum doing that all day long too. How are you going to beat them just by dabbling in it? So is that the most intense game? They seem to allude.
Well, I think there's that. There's Warcraft, Warhammer.
Yeah.
There's all these kind of like League of Legends type, strategy based.
A place you'll never find me. A blockbuster video game set in a dark fantasy realm that involves making elixirs.
Well, have you ever tried, Dom? You might like it.
Demons.
You might be a big demon slayer. And you're just
when Luke and DJ were playing, I just said,
yeah, but you roll your eyes at it until you get fully invested in a story of one of these things, and it becomes an active movie. Is essentially what it is.
I can agree with
that.
Not
Diablo.
Yeah.
Diablo's
like playing through a movie, and if it's a good movie, obviously you're going to want to see it to the end. But there have been a few games where I'm playing, I'm like, this just stinks. And I do my figurative walkout, which is turning off the Xbox.
Okay.
But to think that Elon was able to turn and burn that quickly and become an expert, I believe Elon has been an often player of these types of games, the Diablo type games. So maybe he's just transitioning his skills learned in an earlier game into a new one, and that's why 30 days was so quick to become a master at it. But I really would put money on.
You know what my real gripe with him
playing
is?
For Elon.
He's starting again, and there was another big crash of this, the driverless car stuff. Oh my God. You're never going to get, I don't know, death penalty, driverless car. Which one am I more certain of? I'm not sure.
Really? I'm all in on the driverless car.
Oh, God.
But it's got to be unanimously autonomous.
Yeah.
There can't be any other drivers.
Why is there a steering wheel in the driverless car?
That I can't tell you.
Yeah. And how's that one go? We need a report from Maisie at the Navy Yard. How's that driverless bus going?
Didn't he get an accident or something?
Oh,
no,
that couldn't be.
I don't want to put words in. Falsities out there.
I just the idea of it. It's the lack of giving over control. Will it be driving with 2 feet? That's what I want to know. Let's go to Dave in Somerset on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dave. Afternoon. Thanks for the wait.
Oh, no problem, Dom. How are you today?
Good.
My question of the day is the insufferable John Calipari and the dribble and kick offense that he created that people now think is a fantastic idea. I went to a high school game last night, and oh, my God, I was bored out of my skull. The team with more talent, all they did was want to shoot threes, and it was boring.
Yeah, well,
the game doesn't exist anymore.
I would agree with that. There's got to be some wrinkle you put in to curtail the three a little, like move it back a couple feet, then we'll see who really can shoot. It does put shooters back in the game who couldn't play otherwise, but it's excessive. But Calipari's insufferable for a lot of other reasons.
He's washed.
Yeah.
When I was at IU, I'm a former Hoosier.
Every reason that you can come up with, he's all of them.
Yeah, one more reason there for you. As a former Hoosier, Indiana played UK in a giant rivalry once a year. And then Calipari decided to, play hardball with the location of where this game would be played and completely squashed a great rivalry.
Didn't want another Christian Watford shot.
Yeah. All right, that's a good one, David. Thank you. All right, we'll take more coming up. somebody who is insufferable, somebody who is the worst person in the world. Any good ones on YouTube? I saw a couple good ones on Twitter today.
We got Elon Musk and Trump nominated by someone on Twitter.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Klaus Schwab of the WEF.
Oh, always forget that. He is.
Yeah, I think it's actually in the nomination.
That would be a winner because he's not a tyrant killing people, but taking away freedom, he thinks everybody should rent. Why should you own a home? He would be, I'd say that's a winner.
George Soros taken off the board a couple of times.
Right.
And how about Bruce Springsteen as well?
Of course. Tired, but never we get tired of it. All right. 855-839-1210. Hit us with yours. We'll get your name into the hat. Coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, 1210, thinking about selling your home in 2025? Well, it's not like it used to be. The market is shifting. Today's buyers are pickier than ever. They want move-in ready homes with modern features. So how do you stand out without breaking the bank? Diane Cardano here from the Cardano Realtors, and I'm hosting a free breakfast event for future home sellers. Learn how to navigate this uncertain housing market with rising inventory, fluctuating interest rates, and fast-moving technology. Also, learn my low-cost staging techniques that meet today's buyers' demands. Join me and special guest Dom Giordano for my breakfast seminar on Saturday morning, February 1st at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington. And receive a signed copy of my new book, Model Home Mindset. Get ahead of the competition, come to my breakfast seminar, and sell your home fast. Diane says RSVP now. Call 215-576-8666 or visit 215-576-8666.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A raging fire destroys a historic church in Norristown. Church leaders say they'll rebuild. Kids in Philadelphia will no longer face charges for first-time low-level offenses. And Whole Foods workers at the Spring Garden store have been trying to unionize, and they say the company is being harder on them because of it.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
It's the world-class Newtown Performance Institute, located on the campus of the Newtown Athletic Club in Bucks County, PA. Take your training to the next level. Enhance flexibility, strength, and speed while fostering mental resilience and your passion for health and fitness. MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, youth and adult performance at the highest levels. Step into a realm of unmatched fitness luxury at NPI. Discover our curated selection of premium services designed to elevate your fitness experience to new heights. Visit NACSportsCenter.com.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today. And at 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Hey, that's right. Just watching a video on YouTube during that of people in New York with all kinds of ways of masking their license plates as they get ready to go into the congestion zones in Manhattan. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, definite fun. Let's go to the great Joe of Exton here in the lightning round. Hey, Joe.
Yes, hello, Dom, and good afternoon. The person I find insufferable is Barack Obama. Shortly after being elected to the presidency, he received the Nobel Peace Prize. For what? Obama hasn't done anything in his life to make himself worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize. Instead, he spends his presidency wanting to fundamentally transform America. Into what? America is perfectly fine the way it is.
Well put, Joe. Tweaked, not transformed. Bill in Montco, I kind of like this one. Maybe it's a wrong historian, but it's a good one. Bill, who's yours?
Oh, my God, John Meacham. He is smug, a know-it-all, officious. He thinks he's going to be able to make history, not just write history, report on history.
That is a great one. I thought you were going to say Michael Presler, who's a knockoff John Meacham, but Meacham will do for now. That captures the spirit of it, you know? And he got to Biden. He actually had a major input. He writes some of Biden's stuff, and he got to him. Spend big, Joe. The Earl of Tacony. Hey, Earl, afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. Yeah, everyone's complaining about the fires in California, how James Wood's house burned down, and how Trump said if he would have raked his leaves, it wouldn't have happened. And I've been posting on Twitter all day about the Bel Air fire of 1961, where Bel Air, California, where the celebrities live, where Dennis Hopper, Burt Lancaster, and Zsa Zsa Gabor all had their houses burned down in 1961. This is nothing new. California burns. After that, Los Angeles banned wood shingles, and they also instituted one of the most stringent bush clearance policies in the U.S., one of the brush clearances, which they don't do anymore. That's what Trump was talking about. Clear out the underbrush and you won't have these fires. And because they consider contributing to global warming, they let these fires burn.
Well, Earl, that's right. And the infrastructure, the water and all that is screwed up. They don't want to do that either for the same reasons. And DEI's the major thing of their firefighters versus competency. So, yeah, it's an horrific situation, but they're not going to limit the damage. They're incapable of it. Who is the one that – go ahead.
But California's stupid. There's a drought. There's no water in the reservoirs. Well, send in the Army Corps of Engineers and dig them deeper so that when it rains again, you'll have more water in the future. But they don't even consider that. They just let the reservoirs dry out and then wait for them to fill up again instead of making them deeper and being proactive.
All right, Earl, who's your person?
My person is Toby Keith, who is responsible for opening up the gates of hell and instituting on us another insufferable person. If there was no Toby Keith, we would not have Taylor Swift.
Is that true, Dan? I guess he took him, brought her forward, Taylor. I guess that's true. Yes. Kind of insufferable.
Yeah, he did find her, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, that was his doing.
I've mellowed a little bit toward Taylor Swift in the last 6 months, 3 months or so.
Yeah, she's not on the TV every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't go after it as much. So who did you like today, Henry, as the world's worst person?
Yeah, I really liked, let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, I liked Richard and Westchester's answer of the woman and Wawa.
Yes, the Wawa woman. That was random, but a brilliant one. Dan, how about you? Anything?
I liked Robert and Ben Salem's Taylor Lorenz.
That was a random and brilliant one, too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be a homer on this. I'm going to go with the Wawa woman. That is kind of an all-timer. What's she doing today? Making sandwiches somewhere? All right.
Would be ironic if she's now working behind the counter.
Yeah, that is Into the Hat. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Thanks for listening so much today. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. And away we go. Congratulations, Richie, always next. There's a national service that ranks us, and the station did very well. Barrett News, it's called, as far as the best hosts in the afternoon. Rich certainly in the top one. He's next here for 4 big hours on Talk Radio 1210.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save $1 or $2. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.